Plumlee, sir.
Yeah, pleasure.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking the time to come up here and do this. This is freaking awesome. This was a surprise podcast for me because I wasn't sure until a couple days ago. We've had some shifting of schedules and stuff, so this is awesome that you're able to make it. And I appreciate you taking a huge, long drive to come all the way up here just to sit down and talk to me, man.
Not a problem. I think that's my disassociation from how I behave and how everybody else does. I'll do my best to be there. I meant I'm going to be here.
Hey, well, honestly, dude, it worked out, and I'm grateful for your time because I know you're a very busy man, and it means a lot that you made the effort to come all the way up here, out of the way out of the way, off the beaten path, to come sit down and talk with me and do this podcast. So I'm hopefully somebody out there will get some benefit. I'm sure they will because you've got a pretty incredible story. You've done some amazing things in your life. A lot of people would be able to gain a lot of benefit from hearing your story and some of the struggles that you faced and things that you dealt with.
I already made all the mistakes, so if you guys
learn from my mistakes,
skip over that part. Yeah.
Earl Plumlee, Master Sergeant when you retired, correct?
Yeah, they call me Earl now, though.
Earl now, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm Mr. Plumlee now. So, born in Clinton, Oklahoma, grew up in a working family, blue collar family, doing cattle ranching and oil field instrument company. Began your military career by joining the Oklahoma National Guard, serving in the 45th Field Artillery Brigade as a rocket artilleryman. Let's go. Rocket. During his junior year of high school. After graduating high school in 2000, Plumlee joined the United States Marine Corps, RA. Attended boot camp at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, California, and Marine Corps School of Infantry in Camp Pendleton, I would imagine, right after that, right? Yeah. And then you were assigned to Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 3rd Marine Regiment, located in Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, where you served in your first enlistment in a weapons platoon. Then you deployed to Okinawa to the UDP, I'm assuming that's what it was.
You bet.
Japan after the 9/11 attacks occurred. Then you went to Bahrain and served on a Marine security element to the 5th Fleet. Now, Marine security element, is that MSG?
No. So right after 9/11, they knew that they were going to be surging forces.
Okay.
So I actually deployed a week or two after 9/11.
No kidding.
Every naval support vessel got some Marines on it because there was not enough MSG to go around.
Oh, wow.
So we thought we were spear pointing the invasion, and I guarded a refrigerator ship.
Oh.
Which is valuable. I just wish I
I get. Yeah. Hey, man, it's somebody's got to guard the fridge, I guess.
I gained like 30 pounds during the invasion of Afghanistan.
Okay, well, at least you're eating good.
I was eating.
Let's see here. Okay, so in 2003, deployed to Zamboanga, Philippines, to the Joint Special Operations Task Force Philippines on Camp Navarro. After returning from deployment, you attended 4th Force Reconnaissance Recon Indoctrination Program and was selected to attend the Marine Amphibious Reconnaissance Course and became a Basic Reconnaissance Marine. After that, you attended and graduated from Navy SEER School, Basic Airborne School, Marine Corps High Risk Personnel Course, and Marine Combat Dive School. Where's Combat Dive School?
Panama City.
Panama City. In Florida.
In Florida.
Okay, I think, is it Green Beret Dive School in Key West?
In Key West, yeah. They can't ever get along, so
they fight a lot.
They keep one on one side of Florida and the other on the other.
They keep them separate so they don't fight. Okay, that makes sense. After dive school, you returned to 4th Force Recon, where you volunteered for a deployment to Iraq with the 2nd Force Reconnaissance Company, and then you deployed to Iraq's Al Anbar region, operating from the Al Asad airfield from August 2005 to February 2006. You know what's crazy is that Al Asad is still there, and even up to like last year, they were still taking rocket fire and like IDF and
yeah.
Isn't that crazy? It's still around. It's never in 20 freaking years, man.
I actually had a friend that went back and reoccupied it.
Did it?
And my can was still there, and it still had, Earl was here.
Did it really?
Above the door frame.
Oh, that's freaking cool. That's
super
history.
Creepy, yeah.
That's super creepy. It's still there. Jesus, man. Yeah, some things never change. It's like those memes you see. It's like born too late to go to Afghanistan or Iraq, born just in time to go to Afghanistan or Iraq. Or
too early to go to Afghanistan.
Or too early, yeah. Born in time, yeah. Yeah, man, it's
because the president was saying he wants to take Bagram.
Yeah,
like,
that's
year is it?
Yeah, it's like the Twilight Zone. We'll see how that goes. I know there's some like possible exchanges of like mutual exchanges they might want to do. That's a whole nother ball game though. Anyway, so let's see here. Al Asad Airfield. You returned from that deployment, attended military freefall school. From there, you were promoted to recon team leader, and then in 2007, married your wife, Terry. Following your wedding, you volunteered to deploy to Iraq again in 2008, During that deployment, you were selected and recognized as the Marine Corps Recon Team Leader of the Year, which was, I would imagine, a very competitive thing to be nominated for. So obviously, you must have been, as people say, hot in the military.
If I do nothing else, I try hard.
Hey, you know, there's nothing wrong. No, here's the thing: like, people want to make fun of other people for trying hard, but you know, honestly, I appreciate folks that are passionate about whatever it is that they're doing. You know, we need that. You know, we need people who are passionate about things, especially in combat arms and things of that nature.
Yeah, they say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, apparently, I love carrying heavy things through the desert and sleeping in wet holes. So I'm great.
And that's hard on your body after a few years. Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. After that, you returned from Iraq. You decided to make a change in your career trajectory, and you joined the U.S. Army under the 18 X-ray program in January 2009, which is the Special Forces indoctrination pipeline, I would imagine, the whole pipeline. Upon successful completion of Special Forces assessment and selection, you chose to attend the Special Forces qualification course, or the Q course, which is like the big course where you, once you graduate, you get your actual tab, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So I thought
You're just like, I'm just
you
going.
go to selection, and then you're like, you know, ready to be a Green Beret, and then I find out I got a year of training ahead of me. So.
Oh my God, it's such a long pipeline. I got some buddies in that pipeline right now that I served with in the Marine Corps, actually, and they're seeing a lot of people get injured because it is very hard on your body.
It is hard on your body, but I will tell you, you know, the hardest part about selection is the first hitch in the Marine Corps.
What's that?
The first 4 years in the Marine Corps.
Oh, the first 4 years. Oh,
because the Q course is full of Marines, man.
Is it really?
It's hilarious.
That's funny.
So there wasn't that many when I came in. There was a few, and then about halfway through my career, I remember going to the chow hall on base there where the Q course is at.
Yeah.
And like a quarter of the guys in line were former Marines. They had They had their little first, second MARDIV patches on.
That's awesome.
And I was like, what? I guess I'm a trendsetter.
Motivate.
Yeah.
I actually ran into a guy that was, I don't remember what division he was in. He might have been in 1st Marine Division, potentially. I ran into a guy when I was deployed. Actually, he was a Green Beret that was a prior Marine too. And it was always, it's like running into a family member when you're like out overseas and you're like, oh, yeah, some family here with me, you know?
Marines are hilarious because they'll leave the Marine Corps, join the Army, and then only hang out with other Marines.
It's so funny.
If you only wanted to hang out with Marines, there was a place for you.
You could have stayed, you know. Hey man, it's just funny how it is. I mean, some people call it a cult, but it's just like it's a cult. It's a cult, yeah. I guess it could be, but it's like a fraternity that, you know, you're part of for the rest of your life. Yeah. You know, and there's a lot that you have in common with all these guys. You went through very similar trials and tribulations, similar experiences, cultural indoctrination. I think it's great. I think it's great. It's one of the things that separates us.
I would never have sat with a pogue the whole time I was in the Marine Corps. But then as soon as I'm out, somebody was a Marine. It doesn't matter what they did.
Yeah, you didn't care. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you know.
What ship were you on? What floats did you do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like Yeah, now it's different when you, especially once you get out. I'm still, you know, I haven't encountered that. Yeah, I'm sure I will, but you know, I've always tried to be nice to people, whether they're grunts or non-grunts. I was a grunt at one point.
I was definitely an infantryman elitist.
Yeah, an elitist infantryman. I mean,
what do you do? Ground intel? I'm like, loser.
You're a loser. You mean your knees don't hurt? You mean you don't have back problems?
What's it like to sleep all night?
Yeah. What's it like to have AC all the time? In any case, so we'll just press through the rest of this here. So you were. Let me see here. I don't want to skip anything here.
You just finished the Q course, I think.
Okay, just finished the Q course. Yeah, so you graduated the Q course as a Special Forces Weapons Sergeant. 18 Bravo was assigned to 4th Battalion, 1st Special Forces Group, Airborne. Deployed multiple times throughout the Indo-PACOM region before deploying to Afghanistan in April of 2013. While serving at Forward Operating Base Ghazni in August 28th of 2013, Master Sergeant Plumlee responded with extraordinary gallantry during a complex enemy attack, actions for which later he would receive the Medal of Honor. Following 9 months of rehabilitation, he returned to duty with 4th Battalion, 1st Special Forces Group. And then in 2015, you were stationed in Okinawa, Japan with 1st Battalion, 1st Special Forces Group, serving in Indo-PACOM. Crisis Response Force and providing foreign security details for Presidents Barack Obama and Donald J. Trump. Selected for promotion to Master Sergeant in 2018, you transitioned to 1st Special Forces Group headquarters at Joint Base Lewis McChord, JBLM, up there in Washington.
Betcha.
Okay. And then in 2020, you assumed duties as a team sergeant with 3rd Battalion, 1st Special Forces Group, where you served until. Did you get out from that location?
Yep.
Okay, so you got out after being in 3rd Battalion, 1st Special Forces Group. Numerous awards and decorations include the Medal of Honor, the Silver Star, the Bronze Star Medal, Purple Heart Meritorious Service Medal, Army Achievement Medal, 2 Navy Achievement Medals, the Combat Action Ribbon, and many others recognizing valor, dedication, and sacrifice that he's made during his time in service. He's also earned the Special Forces Tab, Marine Corps Combatant Diver Badge, Combat Infantryman Badge, Military Freefall Parachutist Badge, and Foreign Jump Wings. Man, you've had the
hardest two, the Navy Achievement Medal and the Combat Action Ribbon.
Those are the hardest two?
Yeah.
By far?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess that's fair because like the combat, I mean, unless you're stationed on a ship that everybody gets awarded the Combat Action Ribbon while they took fire or something, but most people aren't in that position ever.
Yeah. Everybody was getting it when I got it, but
Yeah. Well, what's funny is one of my first platoon sergeants said when they first would get into country, one of the things they would do is they would go out of their way to get their troops into contact immediately within the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
So they could get everybody their car. And then that way they wouldn't be seeking out or being reckless through the rest of their deployment because they knew they were getting it.
It's pretty smart because both of my deployments as a Marine, there was always that group of people.
Yeah.
And they were forcing missions because like, hey, this guy, due to no fault of his own, he needs a car. And we're like trying to drive around and get blown up just so somebody can get one.
Yeah, that's why I was like, damn, see, that's something I never encountered that because I never experienced combat and never deployed like to a place where I experienced combat. I was in a quote unquote combat zone. 2023 Iraq doesn't count as that.
I know about, we'll get into the invasion of Afghanistan. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, either way, like, did I receive imminent danger pay and hazardous duty pay? Sure. Didn't experience combat. Point is that I think hearing those stories is interesting just because I never experienced that. I don't know what it was like. So like the fact that there was like all these nuanced things happening back then to try to prevent people from reckless behavior, because if you're going to combat, you want to get a combat action ribbon,
nobody
right?
wants to be a fireman in a town that doesn't have fires.
Yeah, exactly. And that was probably one of the hardest parts about being in the infantry for me and for a lot of my peers is that we never deployed to combat. We just did 3 UDPs.
Just missed it.
And just missed it. It's just the nature of the beast. Like you go where you're told, you go where you're being asked to go to or told to go to at the time that you're being told to go. And it just so happens that 3rd Marine Division stopped deploying to combat after they did their Marja deployment in 2010. And that was the last time that 3rd, at least for 2-3, that's the last time 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines went to Afghanistan was for the Battle of Marja. And so I had some super seniors that were with us in our unit that were Marja vets that stayed with the unit before they got out. And they would tell us some of those stories about some of the stuff like that. But it was a very interesting experience being a grunt that didn't experience combat because, that was like one of the reasons a lot of us joined the infantry.
Right. I mean, 2010, the war was still going. And walking around where everybody's a combat vet.
Yeah.
Because the Marine Corps is big on rites of passage, so it's a toughie. But I've, especially as we were transitioning, going to combat didn't make me a good Marine. The training I did made me a good Marine. The schools I attended made me a good Marine. Combat made me trust all that.
Yeah.
But you don't need the rubber stamp of combat. And not for nothing, every time I went to combat, I had to bury a friend. So those ribbons cost something.
Yeah, that's one of the things that is easy for those of us that haven't experienced it to not think about, because if you haven't experienced it, you just don't know, and it's good to have reminders of some of the blood and sacrifice that was made for certain individuals to rate certain ribbons that they're wearing on their chest when they're walking around in their Charlies or whatever.
Yeah, it should be respected and honored, but it doesn't make you. And everybody's going to throw fruit at me because the Marine Corps Sergeant Major was saying it doesn't make you a good Marine.
Yeah.
All the training and being disciplined. And I remember a Vietnam Marine told me something that I was like, And he was watching us patrolling and getting to see what the Marines were doing. Yeah. And he was very impressed with how serious we were taking it. And his thing was, I had to every time, we went and trained. Our jungle school was in Vietnam. So like he's like, every piece of training we did, we had to take it seriously because we will go get, we're going to go do it real in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you guys being as disciplined or more than we were is pretty impressive. And I was like, oh, because, a Vietnam, a recon Marine, you're like, dude, that's the god of war.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like the
he's like, wow, you guys are really taking it serious, huh?
Yeah. It's like the Mac V SOG guys
Right.
coming back and saying, you guys are way harder than we were. And we're like,
we are.
bro, you were literally Mac V SOG. What do you mean?
I always drink 2 beers before I tell a story. Maybe my ruck didn't weigh 200 pounds.
Jeez. Yeah, there's some hyperbole somewhere. That's like kind of a thing that you've seen a lot in the veteran community throughout history, I guess, probably dating back to the Centurions and the Roman Legion, I'm sure. But
I assume it goes all the way back.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it happened at some point back then when like some Roman legionnaire was probably telling like a little,
I killed 50 men.
I killed 50 men with my broadsword that I had or whatever. But anyway, so I kind of want to start a little bit back in your life, because I know that was like a good brief overview of like kind of like some of the things that you've done, some accomplishments and some of the experiences that you've had, but there's a lot more to you than just your military experience, obviously, like that makes you who you are. I kind of want to start back. So what state did you grow up in again?
Oklahoma.
And what part of Oklahoma?
Western Oklahoma, Beckham County.
Okay. And I know that one of the things you did was raising cattle and stuff.
Yeah, we had a cattle ranch, and then everybody worked other jobs so we could afford to have a cattle ranch.
How many people lived out on that ranch with you?
Just my dad and my brother and my stepmother. Yeah, so it was
okay.
It was a small operation.
Dad, brother, stepmother, and you. Mm-hmm. So 4 of you guys.
Yep.
How many acres?
We had about 600 acres, I think.
God, that's a lot, man. I just love the thought of having that much land.
And we had you love the thought of it.
But tending, it's probably a whole nother ballgame.
All we did was build fence, and the cows know where you haven't done fresh fence.
And they break it down and they get out.
Yeah. The sheriff called repetitively. There's cows someplace, and you got to go get them at 2 a.m.
And were you guys raising beef cattle or milk?
Yeah, beef.
Okay. What kind of beef or what kind of cattle?
We had a Brammer and Holstein mix, I believe.
Brammer and Holstein?
Yeah, because it's dry out there, so we needed the Brammer to tolerate not having water. And,
yeah.
But it's something my dad played around with that seemed to gain weight and hold it in Western Oklahoma.
Did he ever serve in the military?
My dad was he set the path for me. He was a Marine.
No kidding.
And later joined the Army. So
he did the same damn thing.
That's a Plumlee thing. Yeah.
So how long was he in the Marine Corps for?
I think about 6 years, 7 years. He did his first hitch as an officer, and then moved on.
Okay, so he was commissioned when he first joined.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and then,
gotcha.
Vietnam ended, and he was that first generation of Marines that was not going to go to Vietnam. So
he didn't go to Vietnam.
No, so he joined his unit. They came back from their deployment. And so everybody was a combat vet except for him as a second lieutenant.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, that must have been brutal being the officer of the day for him.
Yeah, and it was a different Marine Corps. So that as the officer today, you had to carry live ammunition because the enlisted men might kill you. So
yeah, well, I mean, the officer of the day carries live ammunition now too, but it's
for the Marines.
Well, I'll tell you, I've heard of stories where, like, I had buddies that told me, like, when they got back from Marja, like, the OOD would come on deck and like start trying to tell people to calm down or not party, and like I've heard stories of people like PMO showing up to like the OOD with no pants on and like unconscious in the yard, like crazy stuff that you're like, bro, that's so like crazy to hear of. Like, you think about something like that happening now, and it's like there would be a internal investigation and they would be finding you. But back then it was like
they're like, hey man,
hey, don't go to the barracks at night, bro. Stay away from there. That place is there's animals over there.
Those guys came back with what? It's the 50 or 60 guys without legs. It's a pretty big number.
Yeah.
So
50 or 60 guys with missing legs.
Yeah, I think that's the number.
From Vietnam?
No, I'm talking about the Marja guys.
Oh, from the Marja guys. Yeah. So like there's like some trauma. There's some real trauma there.
They're like, yeah, they stole the OD's pants, and like,
It's like,
if they're still doing it in a month, we'll really clamp down.
Yeah, there's like just one of those things, like, you know, there's some trauma. They kind of let them just like, hey, just leave them alone, man.
Yeah, I think that's the thing I miss most about being in the military during a time of war is what things became really important and what things became lesser. And I think coming in as a peacetime guy, I saw that transition. And
Yeah.
then as the war ended, I saw us focusing back on,
Different things.
yeah, the BI for the Humvees and the motor pool became a huge problem again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like the military has to do stuff. They can't just be not doing anything. And granted, like, okay, training for combat should be the primary thing, right? Obviously, training, because like we're here to fight and win the nation's wars. That should be the primary concern. Outside of that, if you're not actively fighting a war, that still leaves you with a lot of extra time.
What do you do with 300 guys with ADHD that are still getting paid on the 1st and the 15th?
That are jack and steel on the weekends and the weeknights. Yeah, what are you going to do with those guys? Well,
and they only need 3 or 4 hours of sleep. So
yeah,
like, where do we keep these guys?
Yeah, well, that's another reason why we all need sleep studies. I'm sure I don't sleep very good. I'm sure you probably have your own stuff going on with sleep, probably.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought I had PTSD, and it turns out no, I just don't sleep very much.
Yeah,
I was like, why can't I sleep?
I think my sleep patterns are just all jacked up, and part of it's probably because of my own doing from staying up too late and getting up too early all the time, and so like my brain's wired to just wake up at 4:30 every day.
Yeah, not for nothing, I had a huge problem when I retired, and for 25 years, I either stayed up late getting something done,
Yeah,
even if it was just shining my boots when I was a boot, and or getting up early and finishing up somebody's NCOR.
Yeah.
As soon as I lost that, a mess.
it's a mess.
Yeah,
You needed some direction or something.
I know I'd literally wake up in the middle of the night having a panic attack because I was like, I must have forgot. I didn't do anything today. I must have forgotten something.
Oh yeah, like panicking that you thought you forgot to do something you were supposed
I had
to
my
do.
little green book, and I was like, "There's nothing in it." And I'm like, "There's nothing to do.
Oh man,
There's nothing important happening."
and this is after you EAS.
This is as I left
Yeah,
for good, not transitioning. I'm just what's next. I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's a whole nother ball game, and we all get there eventually because regardless of who you are, you can't stay in forever. So you got to figure something out post service.
I hadn't had to plan my whole day since I was in high school, so
Yeah.
it was a big leap.
Yeah, that is a big leap going from because you were 18 when you joined.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, and then you went on. Yeah, see, I joined at 27, so it's like I was already. My brain was really fully developed and
You're
stuff.
a full human. Yeah.
I'm a full, yeah. Well, I don't know, kind of human, human in that I have emotional problems. But anyway, so I want to go back to so you were on the farm. You helped your dad build fences because the cows constantly got out. How many heads of cattle did you guys have?
So we always had around 60, and I think probably 200 at the high end of us running cattle.
60 to 200.
Yeah, and
between the 4 people in your family.
Yeah, so when 60 cows get loose, it's a mess.
Yeah, for 4 people to wrangle up. Did you have dogs?
No, we had horses.
Okay.
We did not invest heavily in horses, so we had crazy horses.
Yeah.
That made it more complicated, in my opinion, looking back on it. But
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy horses?
We bought a horse from the police department out of LA that failed police training.
Oh no!
Had never seen standing water before, so it would have just panic attacks at any kind of running water, which is not the biggest deal in Oklahoma, but it does come up.
Did it ever rain there a good bit?
Oklahoma only does extremes, so it'll either not rain or it's literally like God emptying a bathtub on you.
Okay,
so
is that because the ground wouldn't like hold the water? It would just flood.
It gets these. I mean, it's tornado alley, so these crazy thunderstorms come in and they'll dump water on you, and then 15 minutes later it's 115 degrees and you're just getting baked.
Oh, geez. Yeah,
so
cooking.
I actually had a Iraqi interpreter that moved to Oklahoma.
No
He
kidding.
was like, "What is with this shitty weather?"
It was worse than Iraq.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's saying.
Well, he's like, "I didn't
something.
think places got hot like Iraq," and I was like, "Oklahoma does that, and then the winters will come and get you."
How cold does it get in the winter?
It'll get in the negatives.
No kidding.
Yeah, it doesn't snow, but it'll ice, and it'll be like negative 14 with 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah,
it's a hellscape.
Is it? Yeah. Well, the one thing I always think of is like it's different when you're a civilian and it's cold because you can go inside.
Yeah, you just walk
or
inside.
bundle up in whatever clothes you want to wear that like protect you. But it's like
when you're
different.
If you're working outside.
If you're working
different.
outside, it's different, yeah, because like
you're
might
going to be
sweating
here all day, maybe tonight.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then like understanding how to use warming layers properly and how to strip down to what warming layers depending on how hot you are or whatever, and that's a whole other art. That's a hard task. Like people got to learn that the hard way sometimes,
Yep, I remember. I hurt myself a few times.
Did you?
Yeah, because in the infantry, they never let you wear cold weather gear. It's
No,
always this.
no beanie unless the
Yeah.
sun's out.
You get-
It's the sun's not out. You can't. Have
I gotta pack the long johns constantly.
Yeah.
but I'm never allowed to wear them. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I was like, why do I have to pack these?
Yeah, you're not allowed to wear. Hey, you're not allowed to put those on because you're going to heat case.
Yeah, and then I remember as a recon marine, I was like, I'm finally getting to wear hot weather gear.
Yeah.
And then as a recon marine, like we're running everywhere constantly, and I was like, this is why you're not allowed to wear it. I almost died.
Oh yeah, well yeah. If you're running everywhere with like rucks and stuff
Yeah.
like that, man, long johns will cook you. Like you'll be like a lobster inside there, man.
Like that, I was like, I'm super fancy. No, back to the way First Sergeant said.
Yeah. Well, I guess that the one thing I like about that community is like it's big boy rules. Like you got to figure it out. You learn the hard way. You're like, oh man, I'm gonna die if I keep doing this. I need to stop wearing these when I'm doing this type of like exercise.
I
or
guess
training.
I will just be cold. But you know what? It's easier because I'm cold because I decided, not because the First Sergeant decided.
It was my decision.
my decision
Yeah, exactly.
to
I'm
sit
in
out
control
here
of my life.
in a tank top and 12 degrees.
Yeah, Jesus, tank top. All right, so let me see here. How long were you in Oklahoma for?
So I was born there, and I stayed there until 2000. Yeah, 2000. So for 20 years I was there, and I joined the Marine Corps
from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And then you left. You went to recruit training at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego. Then went to School of Infantry in Pendleton.
Where platoon 2063, we did win final drill. A lot of people forget that.
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
Well, shout out to you said platoon
2063.
2063. Shout out to
So if you
platoon
guys aren't winning final
2063.
drill, you're really failing your lineage.
You're boogering, boogering it. Well, okay. So you went to Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego. You won final drill. Then you went to School of Infantry in Pendleton.
Yep.
And then from Pendleton, you went to 1st Battalion, 3rd Marines, Alpha
sir.
Company, weapons platoon.
Yeah, I requested overseas duty assignment, and that pretty much just means Hawaii.
That pretty much just means Hawaii. Okay, you're not going anywhere but Hawaii. You're just
And I
going
was
to
like,
3rd
yeah.
Marine Division.
We're going to go to the Nam. They're like, well, we can get you to Hawaii.
What was it like first showing up there in Kaneohe Bay or K Bay?
For somebody from Oklahoma, it was almost like a foreign country.
I bet it was.
Yeah, I showed up, and I still remember being in the Honolulu airport, and it smelled like flowers everywhere, and I was like shocked. I was like, I thought they had potpourri everywhere, and I was like, no, this place just smells like flowers.
Dude, it's so weird. When I first showed up to Hawaii, I felt like I was in a different country too.
Yeah, I was like,
It was very weird.
This is America.
Yeah, like
yeah,
I'm getting stationed here. What did I do to earn this? Like, what were your thoughts on it at first? Were you like bummed about it, or were you stoked to be on?
I was excited at first, and then when I realized you can basically afford to go home, every 2 years. Not, there's no like, hey, it's Thanksgiving, I'm going to go home, and then I'll come back for Christmas.
Yeah,
you got to plan 6 months ahead, and
it's expensive, man.
As a private, saving up to go home on leave is quite the hurdle.
Good luck. Yeah, I think I went home maybe 2, maybe 3 times in 5 years while I was out there. 2 or 3.
I got out of the infantry with almost every single day. I think I had like 60, 70 days of leave.
No kidding. Yeah, I saved up like when I left Hawaii, I think in 2019, I think I had like 60 days saved up too, because I just never went home. Because it's like, why am I going to spend $1,000 or $1,500 round trip?
I make $1,200 a month, and a ticket costs.
Not making jack, dude. As a private out there, brutal. Living in the barracks. Did you have a car?
I had a car my 2nd or 3rd year in.
Okay. What kind of car did you get?
I brought my pickup truck from America, which was just a travesty, and immediately sold it.
Did it get rusted out or what?
No, I had a 3/4 ton truck, and I remember loading up all my buddies, and we drove down to Waikiki. Could not park it anywhere, so I dropped them off and went back to base.
Because it was went back to base because there's no room.
There is nowhere to park a long bed extended cab 3/4 ton in Waikiki. So if you're from the Midwest and you're in Hawaii, do not ship your truck out there.
I remember seeing a lot of guys with trucks out there. So, and it was helpful having a dude with a truck because you could throw all your packs in there from the barracks when you're doing the sea bag drag.
That's what my truck was. We put rucks in it. We drove it around Kaneohe Bay, and it lived in the parking lot.
Yeah,
but I had a Suzuki Samurai, and that was the win, man.
The Suzuki Samurai, that's a motorcycle, right?
No, that's a little Jeep thing that Suzuki makes.
Oh, okay, a little Jeep. Okay,
yeah, and it seats 5, but it won't go over the pass with 5 people in it.
It won't.
No.
Jesus.
Nothing like hitting the licky licky and doing like 22 miles an hour.
Oh, I forgot about the leaky, man. That was where you would take every time the H3 was super backed up or something like
I'm gonna
that.
save time. Like,
Yeah, sometimes you would cut through there. Man, it wasn't. I have good fond memories of when I lived there. You made the best of it because it's like, you know, you got your friends, all your boys you're spending all your time with and stuff like that. You all go out to Honolulu on the weekends and go to Rumfire, or you go to Moose's, which I think Moose's is closed now, but Rumfire's I think still open. But
Moose's, that was, yeah.
Yeah, Moose's was the place. And then you had Kelly O'Neill's right across the street, the country bar.
That was a Red Line, and then they rebuilt Lure Street. Lure Street looked like Tijuana when I was there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there were some questionable folks wandering around there. I'll say that. But
that big revamp, I forget when that happened, 2007 or so. They rebuilt it all.
It wasn't like the slums when we were there, but it was definitely. There are some questionable characters wandering around, like people of the night.
Waikiki's got the full spectrum.
Oh yeah,
pretty much everything.
Yeah. I used to drive for Uber when I was there for a little bit, and
Never in a million years.
Oh no, horrible mistake. Never. I'm like obviously never going to do it again. Period.
How can I get my back seat to smell like vomit?
Oh yeah,
urine?
That happened. Dude, I bought a new car because my old one seized up on Pearl Harbor, and then the first night I think somebody yacked in my back seat. First night, brand new car. I'm like, this is what I get. I deserve this.
This is exactly
what I deserve.
Yeah, because that's a long run. I'm gonna pick up a drunk and drive him to Kaneohe Bay.
Oh, dude,
never gonna make it.
No, terrible idea. But I had a passenger tell me that this homeless man defecated right in front of his 10-year-old daughter on like that one main drag in Waikiki, and I was like, "Yep, that sounds about right."
I had a homeless guy move into my truck.
Move into your truck?
Yeah, I parked it out on University while I was gone for a deployment, and he opened the back. He stole the stereo, but didn't do anything else. But he lived in the back seat for a while.
That's wild.
Yeah, it stunk.
You came back and it just stank.
Yeah, and there was like a nest in the back.
A nest? It's like a human nest, like a bird that just brought a bunch of sticks and twigs back there.
What happened here? I was like, I think somebody was living in my truck.
And man, that's great. That's ballsy leaving it out there. I've had friends that had homeless dudes break into their car up in like Kaneohe, like in the mall parking lot and stuff. I had friends that had their motorcycles stolen.
The Waikiki, I had the samurai always leave the windows down.
Yeah.
Because people would cut your top or they break your glass. You just leave it open.
Yeah.
And don't leave anything in there because somebody will take it.
Yeah.
You gotta pay the tax.
Yeah, you gotta pay the island tax. Yeah. I don't know.
Especially the Marine Corps stickers they used to have.
Oh yeah, the decals. They stopped doing that.
From me. Yeah.
They stopped doing that while I was out there because they were like, this is getting people's cars targeted. So they cut
somebody
it out.
went through with like a rock hammer or maybe a welding hammer, and what was that parking area down in Waikiki? Fort DeRussy.
Oh, Fort DeRussy. You talking about the one that's right over by the Halikoa?
It's all built up now. It used to just be a dark parking lot. And somebody went and they smacked every single decal.
Every single one.
Like 200 cars back there, and everybody had a little tink in their windshield.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. But here's the thing: is like most of the locals I met out there were the nicest people you'd ever met in your life. Most of them. But there's occasional bad eggs.
I was there for 10 years, and I don't know how many Marine bases you've been around, but nobody likes the Marines within like a 5-mile area.
From the area that the base is located. Yeah.
And then most of the Hawaiians are like, I'm going to go fight Marines. And you don't have to pick on any of them. There'll be some Marines that'll be like, oh, yeah, we should fight about something tonight.
Yeah.
I think it's a mutual exchange.
Yeah. I mean, we had a couple guys get their jaw wired shut when I first showed up.
Hey, if somebody weighs 350 pounds and they don't make a flip-flop for that Samoan, you call him sir, and you buy him a drink.
Yeah.
If he's got beef, you don't want it.
Yeah, no, you don't want that beef, dude. Yeah, just be respectful. That's what we always told everybody. Like, hey, dude, if like some big guy starts talking crap to you on the weekends, be respectful and walk away from him.
Also, walk away. He ain't gonna follow you very far.
No, just walk away from him. Even if he's talking crap, leave him alone, dude.
Or, hell, fight him.
Yeah, you're gonna learn a hard lesson.
One day, one 150-pound Marine will beat up a 400-pound Samoan man. And
I don't know when that day's going to.
He'll get to wear the belt.
He'll get to wear the belt. He'll get to wear the belt.
Everybody else gets to eat pudding in the hospital with their jaw wired shut.
We had another guy get his retina got detached because he got hit so hard in the head he almost went blind. So that's a risky business when you're going out to the bars. If you don't go out to the bars, you're probably hardly ever going to run into that.
And know? It's after 12, like what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing out after 12 anyway? You know, I mean, if you're at Rumfire, that's one thing because like you're down there. There's like a bunch of vacationers down there.
If you're Creekside, you're like,
if you're Creekside,
I'm waiting for the fight to start.
Yeah. You might want to kind of reconsider your life decisions.
I'm gonna get thrown in the creek tonight.
Yeah, it could potentially happen for sure. But either way, like that's one of the things I love that like we've been in similar areas, like as far as just like geographically. So it's kind of cool that you can remember some of these places and things. You ever did any of the hikes out there while you were there?
I've done. So I'm a pre 9/11 guy. I have hiked everywhere.
Everywhere.
I've hiked all the hikes.
Okay, so you did the Pillbox, I'm sure. You did the Three Peaks, the Olamana Trail. Did you ever do Crouching Lion?
I don't know if I did Crouching Lion, but you know what's the big one that goes all the way up to where the radar station was?
Oh, the Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah. So I never did the front way like on the stairs, but there's a back way to go up there that's legal.
Yeah.
Which I did that one, but it takes like 6 hours to get up there.
The stairway is faster.
I'm sure it is way faster, but
and
I was always
get the thrill of like you're not supposed to do it.
Yeah,
like, do it anyway.
See, I was always paranoid. I was like, I'm the kind of guy that like I know if I do something I'm not supposed to, I'm gonna get caught because it's happened my entire life. So I'm just like super paranoid about it now.
I did that hike several times, but I was like, we're not driving. I'm not parking my truck.
I'm not parking my truck there. Yeah, no, I don't.
I'll show you. You got to drive.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
If the cops are sitting there when we get back, I'm going up and back
I'm
down
bouncing,
the other side.
and I'm leaving. Yeah,
I'm gonna get a cab from Waikiki tomorrow,
or an Uber or something. Yeah, I know. I think they tore out a lot of the stairs, from what I understand. I think, but I only went up there once.
But they tore the stairs out, and people kept doing it, and so they actually bought that private land and then fenced that off.
Oh, okay.
And that was the only thing that would stop people.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that were calling the cops on folks because there were folks running through their backyard and stuff like that to get in there.
We hiked up to the Leaky Leaky pass when I was in the infantry.
Okay,
and I was that was a special place in time because I was like, if you get hurt here, what is the plan? Because it was
what do you
trails.
do?
Yeah, I was like, don't sprain your ankle back here.
For the love of God, there's no Kazovac. You're not getting evac out of here.
It's like two people are gonna have to choose between throwing you off the cliff or carrying you.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that's some of those hikes like along the spine and the ridge tops up there are terrifying because I mean you're like looking over 350-meter cliff face,
and walking on some soft clay.
Yeah, you're walking on a path that's like this wide and like sheer cliff. But like if it's a clear day and you can see around you, man, it's probably some of the most beautiful
up there
things.
On that pass where you can see Kaneohe Bay on one side and then turn around and see Honolulu and Pearl Harbor on the other. Like there is nothing prettier than that.
It is unbelievable. That's what when you're up on the top of the Stairway to Heaven, you can kind of see that. If you like shot a panorama photo on your phone or something like that, or a Canon. Yeah. The one thing I wish I had done is I wish I had bought a nice camera while I was out there to take pictures with, but I never did.
Several crappy pictures.
Lots of crappy pictures.
Like, look at this view, and people are like,
several grainy.
Amazing.
I know, like, wow, it was really foggy that day. No, that's just a grain.
Yeah, sorry, that's a Kodiak fun saver.
Yeah, exactly. The disposable cameras. Yeah, I don't know if I ever get a chance to go. The unfortunate thing is, did you know Mackey Hall, the barracks?
I saw they tore down.
They tore it down.
They've been tearing that down since 2000.
Yeah, no, they officially the whole thing's gone now.
I thought they were gonna make it a sacred site eventually.
I wish they would have.
Because for 20 years it was condemned and they're tearing it down. And then you'd come back from deployment and live there anyway. Still
there. Yeah. We lived there for 2 workups and 2 deployments. I was there in 2015 and 2016, like the whole year of 2016. And then we came back in 2017, lived there for another year, and then deployed again.
One of the last things I saw like my last time on Kaneohe Bay was, I forget who came back, but it had been that 2008 period. Yeah. And they were getting new mattresses in Mackey Hall, and all the grunts had all the mattresses in a big pile, and somebody was jumping off that 3rd or 4th deck.
I'm sure they
were
the
mattresses, and I was like,
I'm sure they were. Let me see the ORM for that.
Yeah. And then throwing old wall lockers off that deck to the side.
Man, we had guys that had built slingshots and were slingshotting beer bottles across Schitt's Creek over to what we used to call Pogue Palace, which was just where all the air wingers lived. And like the OOD there would call PMO.
Stop doing that.
Yeah, they would call PMO, and then they would come knock on all the doors in the barracks, and nobody would fess up to it. Of course,
I was polishing.
I was playing
frames.
I was playing Fortnite or whatever we were doing. You know what I mean? But yeah, there was I re-enlisted next to Schitt's Creek over there actually, and we had a lot of memories there.
God, he's the channel that's a Bastards of K-Bay. Somebody was re-enlisting.
I love that guy. Oh yeah, inside the river.
And I was like,
yeah, I don't know if I would have got in it. There's probably there's probably a lot of stuff buried in that silt.
Yeah, and it always smells like raw sewage.
It does smell like raw sewage.
They say it's not polluted, but it definitely smells spicy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's in there. There's probably some missing M16s from the Vietnam War in there
Definitely.
or something. I'm sure. I heard there was at the Schofield barracks. I heard that some guys found an old corroded box of 60 or 81 millimeter mortars that were in the attic of someone's barracks room.
The other buildings like Mackey Hall, when I first got there, they were tearing them down.
Yeah.
And it had it used to be squad bays, and then they had built them into rooms.
Yeah.
But when they were tearing that down, they found hand grenades from Vietnam, because guys would put it in that wet wall and it would fall down.
Hand grenades.
They found little pineapple hand grenades.
Oh my God.
A law stuck in there.
A law.
And I remember one of the workers had a big bag of like dried out, just dust marijuana that had been back there for 30 years.
No kidding.
And they had bins and bins of hard alcohol.
I'm sure. There's probably so much alcohol back in there.
But they were stopping constantly for EOD to come and remove munitions, because guys would come and hide stuff in there and then lose it.
That is crazy, and they'd forget, or they'd get drunk and pass out and forgot that they put a light anti-armor weapon in the wall.
Yeah, there's a law on the wall. Yeah.
Dude, that is the craziest thing. But that is the most Marine stuff that you can think of.
So we closed Camp Fallujah, and every time we moved something, stuff would fall out.
Oh, sure.
And it was like everybody's keepsapes, and you're like, my. We're
not going to get that through customs. I'm sorry.
Well, that was the recon compound had been there on Camp Fallujah since the Battle of Fallujah.
Jesus.
And so there was all kinds of stuff crammed everywhere.
I can't even imagine what kind of trinkets were hidden back there.
I remember we picked up a Sealand container, and there was like 10 years worth of AKs and PKMs where guys had been sliding them under this Sealand container.
10 years of PKMs and AKs.
And they're just like, we picked it up, and there's just like, 800 guns crammed under here.
800 guns. See, this is the thing I think of is like, man, I would really love to have some of those AKs from back then that were brought over by the Soviets.
I wish we had a better, I wish we had a better process for that, especially for the units or the Marine Corps at large. There was a lot of, there's a lot of history that guys were like, in the wrong way we're trying to preserve.
Yeah.
But do you remember Saddam was obsessed with rifle marksmanship?
Yeah.
And he had a special AK made at Tabuk, and it was like a DMR AK.
Really?
And if you ever found one, it was like the holy grail, because it came with a little sight, but once you pulled the trigger, it was not an AK trigger. It was this just crisp, amazing trigger, and they were built in Iraq.
They were built in Iraq?
And you would never believe it, because Iraq can't even stack walls really, really well. And I don't know who they were having build these things, but they were amazing rifles.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that he had custom rifles made.
And it was made for the whole army. So he
had
a DMR program for the Iraqis, because he was like this big believer in marksmanship.
Well, I mean, marksmanship's important. That's why, I think that's why the Marine Corps takes it so seriously. They've revamped their entire annual rifle qualifications. Totally different now.
Yeah, always leading the way. That's a Marine might not be good at anything else, but he can shoot.
One would hope.
And
anyway.
Even if you're a terrible shot in the Marine Corps, you're spectacular everywhere else.
You're better than your average Joe for sure. I mean,
for sure.
Maybe not as good as like a professional competition shooter, but definitely
that's not what I was saying.
yeah, but definitely better than like somebody that just picks a gun up off the street.
I love how they teach it, because you'll have a Marine perfectly explain how to do a battle sight zero, height over bore.
Yeah.
The trajectory, rising branch, falling branch, and he'll tell you everything about it. And then he'll go and can barely read. You're like,
I can barely read.
and you're like, man, this guy's really educated.
He's
He
like,
really,
wow,
really
this-
knows his business.
Yeah. Did you guys had RCOs already by the time you
yeah.
were in there? Yeah. So you guys had the 3 clicks equals 1 inch at 100 meters kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get them out until. So we actually had those when I was in 3rd Marines. We never saw them until the war broke out. And then they're like, hey, we've got these. And you're like,
You had them there, but they just weren't on the rifles.
They didn't issue them because they didn't want them
to get broken.
They didn't want to get broken because all I did was hike around. We would go
true.
walk around and drop stuff and bash, and we were breaking M16 A2s. So we did
A2s. Wow.
We broke one every field op the entire time I was there. And I was
no kidding.
Because Marines will literally, you give them a brick, they'll break one.
They'll just fall down and fall on it and break it.
I broke my brick. Like, how did you break your brick?
How did you break your brick? You called it a brick. I broke my brick. So let me ask you, did you guys go to McTabb? Did you have Marine Corps training area Bellows there at the time when you were there? You guys went out there to do field ops?
We went out there to do field ops. And that was if we had a crappy S3, we spent a lot of time there because it was always open.
Okay.
And so we did all of our hikes out at Bellows one year.
Oh,
and
wow.
we just did one big loop. And so you would walk that 5-mile stretch on the beach.
Yeah.
Then you would turn around and come back.
Oh,
and then we'd make a cut through the training area and then hit the beach again. And so I remember doing 18 and 20, 22-mile hikes.
Jeez.
Just doing tank treads. And
on
there's
the beach.
Nothing more demoralizing.
That's pretty demoralizing.
Than being, 10 miles into a 20-mile hike and seeing your battalion commander pass you. And you're like, I know that in 2.5 miles that I'm going to turn around and be behind him.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know what was the bummer for us is our feet got so jacked up because every hike that we did, we were doing on a hardball road through the neighborhoods on K-Bay. And going up First Arts Hill and going out across the flight line and turning around at the lighthouse and walking around the airfield and stuff like that.
I will say I was the Marine Corps for what they didn't get right. I was really surprised how easy it was to go to war. I had my feet. They're like, you're gonna have to. When we go to combat, you're gonna be walking 30 miles to get in a gunfight. Never happened.
But
I was ready.
Yeah, your feet were ready. It's funny. I was talking to most of my buddies that I talked to. Depends on what unit you were with. So I've talked to guys that were in 2-8 in Afghanistan, and they said they walked everywhere. And then I've talked to guys that were in other units that said that they rode in MRAPs everywhere, MAP-Vs everywhere.
Depends on what year you were there.
It depends. Yeah, I think what year you were there would definitely impact that.
Even the deployments where I walked the most, I never walked 20 miles in a single shot. But we were prepared to do it. I think it's still a Marine Corps thing where they're like,
part of the Marine Corps Combat Readiness Evaluation, or the McCree.
You are going to cover distance.
Yep, you have to be able to hike. I believe I can't remember. I'm probably going to butcher it. I think you're supposed to be able to hike 20 kilometers. It's 15 or 20 kilometers with a 65-pound pack. That's the absolute bare minimum. That's not the infantry. That's just the general Marine Corps. The infantry's even more intense than that. I think you have to be
turns
in full
up the
kit.
volume a little.
Yeah, they turned up the volume.
That's why I remember where I was like, why do I have to have my helmet and flak jacket on if we're gonna run 20 miles?
If we're gonna slinky for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. Yeah, I think the worst hike we ever did out there was for me was a 20-miler. It was a 30-kilometer hike, crew serve hike, and we were carrying 50 cal receivers for the entire thing.
We did a big one. I remember being just looking down at the feet in front of me, and at some point they got to be different feet because somebody handed me a 50 cal receiver, and I was not in weapons company.
You're like,
I was like,
how did I get here? What am I doing?
I was like, where? I don't know what happened, but I've got to fix this because who the hell's carrying this thing?
That's so funny. I think I might have carried the 50 cal during that hike for probably 15 out of 20 or 15 out of the 20 miles. And then for a couple of miles, I carried the tripod. I had zombie feet at the end of that one. And then that hike, the worst hike I've ever done was right before we went home on Christmas leave. So we finished that hike, and then basically the following week we cut for Christmas libo, and nobody could walk while they were home with their families.
I forget his name, but I had a battalion commander in 2000, and he was going to fix Liberty incidences.
Oh yeah.
So we did a monster hike every Friday.
Oh,
and we'd have Aloha Friday. We'd be off by 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, but you get up at 2 in the morning.
Get up at 2 in the morning, go walk 15, 20 miles. And then he'd be like, all right, have your weekend.
Now that you're all tuckered out, big boy.
You guys can do whatever you want. If you got up at 2 a.m. and walked 15 or 20 miles, you eat pizza and sit in the barracks. And feel sorry for yourself.
And feel sorry for yourself, yeah, because your little feetsies hurt.
Yeah.
You don't want to walk around, yeah.
Oh, if you're really hard, maybe Saturday you would go limp out in town.
Yeah.
And yeah, nothing's a bigger turn on for women than to have a guy covered in sores limping around.
As he's walking around.
What's up, girl?
What's up? And he's like hobbling through rumfire or whatever.
Why are your feet bleeding?
Yeah. Why are your shoes literally leaking blood? Yeah. Well, anyway, so you let me see here. You were, just to backtrack, it's easy for me to get off topic because like I said, we've been in a lot of similar areas, and I think that's so cool, like that you know a lot of these same places. But you, so in 1-3, you got to them what year again?
2000.
In the year 2000, and then you deployed with them almost like immediately after 9/11, right?
Yeah, well, just before.
Before?
So I had been in Okinawa for maybe a month or two.
Okay.
And when then 9/11 occurred. So.
While you were in Okinawa, and then you guys did you go to Bahrain right after that?
So yeah, they had a list. I was on it. And,
Okay.
I was going to say I don't remember precisely how long, but it was pretty quick. I actually had a Marine Corps historian came and tracked me down because we were one of the first things the Marine Corps did for the invasion of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know we were invading Afghanistan when I left. I just knew we were invading somebody.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that happened was that first 30 or 40 guys out of ACO, 1st Battalion, 3rd Marines, flew to Bahrain and unfortunately found out that, no, we were not supporting Delta Force going into Afghanistan. We were supporting MSG. And big letdown.
Yeah.
But then we did get per diem for 6 months. And
there you go. You made up for it in cash a little bit.
Yeah. I came back. And I was at sea almost the entire time. So I came back with about 6 or 7 months of money.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, and you were a PFC at the time? Lance Corporal?
I think I came back a Lance Corporal.
Lance Corporal? So you were making decent money for a Lance Corporal back then?
$600-$700 every 2 weeks.
That's good.
Whether I needed it or not.
Yeah. I mean, you can't spend it while you're out at sea.
And you can't spend, and this is before the internet. So it was
you're not buying stuff on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, what do you want for those Mentos?
Yeah. You're like trading. Did they allow you guys to have like tobacco on there?
They allowed us to have tobacco, and the ship actually had a little
like a PX,
a little but it was a closet, and it was one of the machinist mates. He ran it like once or twice a month.
Oh wow! So you would go there and it'd be a line out the ass.
We only had 14 Marines on my ship, and we only had like 12 civilians. So not a big line, but
not super big.
The guys that dipped would get a couple cans.
Okay,
and
couple cans. You got to make that last, bro. You probably reusing it and stuff.
Yeah, we would do a port call, and it was always guys swinging ropes over, like, please, for the love, like a note, go buy dip, and I will buy it from you.
Yeah, buy like 4 buckets.
And we're in like we're in Qatar and Jordan and different Middle Eastern countries, so they're like, I don't know, what does this guy want?
Yeah, I don't know. Could you get dip in Jordan?
They have it, but any that has a pretty good U.S. naval presence, you can find it. But if before cell phones, before internet, it was a lot of work.
Yeah, I bet it was, because you just don't. I mean, you don't know where to like GPS to find the store.
And it was the I forget what we had a Navy, like a U.S. Navy person on the USNS ship, and they always had to go in and deal with like customs and the embassy.
Yeah,
and that person, you could usually be like, look, help us.
We need tobacco. Yeah. I don't think you understand that if we don't get it, we're going to die.
This guy's literally going to eat somebody.
Dude, you gotta keep the boys fed because they're hungry. You know what I'm saying?
And so I didn't dip. I was an outlier, so I was like, I don't care.
Oh wow.
I do care because I can tell when we're out because weird fights.
Everybody's cranky.
Why are you tying your boots like that?
Yeah, just over dumb stuff. That's funny. I didn't realize. So did you ever use tobacco products at all?
I did. My grandpa used to give me Bandits, but I had to quit in 3rd grade when my mom found out. And so I never really got started up again.
Wow. Well, that's an outlier. I mean, hell, you saved a lot of money not dipping, man. That was a big. I mean, obviously, like everybody when I was out there in KB, like everybody was dipping Copenhagen wintergreen for the most part.
I always would buy 1 or 2 cans every field op
to trade.
Yeah, because they're always I'm not feeling like I want to stand and watch tonight. And if you got a can that you don't care about, Yeah, people will do just about anything.
That's good thinking. What I would do is I would buy more dip than I would need, and then I would buy energy drinks. And I was in the combined anti-armor platoon, and so we would ride around in trucks every time we go out in field ops, and eventually at some point we'd run into the 11s, right?
Yeah, I know exactly.
And because they'd be out there in the dirt and the muck, like getting all nasty. And I would bring extra tobacco. I'd bring cigarettes. I'd bring dip. I'd bring like energy drinks, and I would pass them out to my buddies that didn't get to go back to the PX.
Our cat platoon showed up one time doing the same thing.
Yeah,
they had their Humvee. Which it's incredible that they got all that room in that truck.
Yeah,
and the Humvee doesn't really have that much room.
No,
but they had cheeseburgers, and guys were buying them. They were McDonald's cheeseburgers. And they ordered them dry, and were selling them like 2 weeks into this field op.
Wow!
And guys were buying them and eating them, and I was like, And like, it's a McDonald's burger. They never go bad. I'm like, I don't think that is correct.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to eat that.
Guys I saw a guy buy a couple cheeseburgers from the cat platoon guys, and he put one in his ruck, and I saw him like eating it 3 or 4 days later. He was like, I got my cheeseburger. And I was like, bro, what are you doing?
That is nasty. This is why guys live in their dirty barracks room.
Yeah, they're like, Marines can like go anywhere and do anything, because if you can eat a 2-week-old cheeseburger that's been in the back of a truck, nothing can kill that man.
No, I know, and not only that, but that guy will be able to find some semblance of happiness no matter what situation.
I don't know where he's at
in
now, but he's probably doing just fine.
Yeah, he's probably doing just fine. He's probably just content with life.
They're like, we got to fix this homeless vet problem. Like, they can fix it, they just don't care.
Yeah,
like, this is not rock bottom from him.
Yeah, no, he's been in worse places. He's like,
yeah, this is not bad.
Yeah, man, that's wild. Yeah, I tried to. I wasn't selling stuff to people, because I would just usually go find my buddies that I went to ITB with and be like, hey man, did you guys run out of cigarettes or something? Here, have a pack of smokes, pass them around to the boys.
It's a risky business because they don't have money on them. So you're definitely taking IOUs.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you're
down.
Asking for money, yeah.
Who are you looking for? His name's Katz.
Yeah.
Like, what?
His name's Jenkins.
Yeah.
Leroy was his first name, I think. Yeah, but I don't know. I just try to be a good dude, because oftentimes they would go out for like 3 weeks, and we would go out for like a few days at a time and do like some operations, come back for a day to clean guns, and then go back out for another week. So you could grab the things. Yeah, so we could come back, grab stuff, and I'd usually just try to hook them up, be a homie. But anyway, so you went to Bahrain. You basically stood post on the ships, take care of the ship.
Not basically. I stood post on a ship.
You stood post on a ship. And how long were you out there for?
The full pump. So
the full 6 months?
Yeah, 6-7 months.
6-7 months.
I forget precisely, but it was all of it.
Yeah, and then you came back from that back to K-Bay, and you were still in 1-3. Did you do another deployment with them?
I did another deployment. We went right back to Oki, and then got sent down to the DeSoto P, which we thought,
DeSoto, Philippines.
Yeah, we were super pumped.
Yeah,
we're like, we're going in to support Special Forces. And we did support Special Forces.
You did?
Yeah, we guarded the chow hall, and we guarded the headquarters. And
okay, you stood post.
I stood post.
Okay,
again.
You stood post again. Did you guys ever take any contact out there?
No, but it was neat because that was every deployment I got a little closer to the fire. So the Green Berets were getting in gunfights down there, and they were
they really?
Yeah, and one of our sniper teams got in a gunfight down there.
One of your sniper teams got in a gunfight,
and it was always, we're like, so we're on the edge of it.
Yeah.
We definitely felt like we were in combat, but, I was guarding, I guarded the chow hall.
Yeah.
It was on the big fob.
Okay.
And that's why my whole trip.
But at least you were doing something rather than sitting in JWTC or something.
It was better than that. So I didn't have to go to JWTC during the invasion of Iraq, because at least I was down there, because I watched the invasion of Iraq
happen while you're in the Philippines.
Yep, watched it on the news in the Philippines.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that, watching that happen? Were you like butthurt that you weren't there?
So we missed Afghanistan, and so I know exactly where you're feeling.
Yeah,
because I missed Afghanistan and guarded ships, missed Iraq guarding the chow hall.
Yeah.
And it was like there was always the hope that one of the SF teams would get hit and we could go QRF them.
Yeah.
Or we would go and do security for VIPs, and we're like, please, somebody try and kill this guy.
Yeah, please, somebody try to mess with us. Yeah,
but it never happened. That's the, not for nothing, the Marine Corps has a really good reputation. So if you stick a pile of Marines somewhere, either everything's going to happen or nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that was a lot. It was uneventful for me.
Yeah. Well,
but I was carrying a gun. I had live rounds. So
okay,
to your
good.
point, it was better than JWTC.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely, I mean, for sure, like it's better than like a straight up peacetime deployment to just Okinawa or Korea and stuff like that. For guys that went to the infantry because they wanted to have that experience of.
Yeah. If you joined to go to war, I mean, I'm an idiot. I joined to go to war and there wasn't one. So I just got lucky.
A lot of us did the same. and that was kind of how we were as well. So
it's like, I'm going to war. And they're like, there's no war, you idiot.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to Afghanistan. No, we're actually pulling out of Afghanistan.
Do you not watch
tracking
the news?
That, right?
The president's been making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was serious.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was kidding around, man. Yeah. So anyway, you got back from the Philippines, and that was your second tour with.
And that was my big. I mean, I wanted to be a recon Marine.
Yeah.
That was my big plan. I didn't realize that Hawaii really set you up for failure.
Why is that?
There's no active duty recon unit there.
Oh, it's just the reserve recon out there. That's right.
So if you want to be a recon Marine, 3rd Marines is like the worst place to be.
Yeah. So where did you PCS then? Is that what?
No, I went and talked to I didn't know it was a reserve company. I just went down there and then
across over by the flight line.
And they had a program that was called RMAT.
Okay.
And it was a recon Marine awaiting training. And so you would get a active duty contract, and then it was like 2 years long. At the end of it, you had to be an 0321.
Okay.
So it was made. It was a street to fleet program. So it was made that you would come in, go to boot camp, SOI.
Yeah.
Then you would do your RIP time.
Okay.
And then go attempt to be a recon Marine. And so if you didn't make it, there was you would get released from your contract, or you could get a different MOS, some things. And it was not made for a guy like me.
Yeah.
But I took it and did my RIP time and became a recon Marine. So that's why I got so many schools early in my career.
Okay.
Is I was fully funded by Headquarters Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And as long as I could take it, I got preferential seating in every school, and then somebody else paid for it besides my unit.
Oh wow.
So like I graduated SEER school on a Friday, and I started airborne school that Monday.
No kidding.
Which made the
back to back.
I failed the PT test at airborne school.
Did you really?
Super humiliating.
Oh no.
But I was there. I went and talked to the airborne instructors, and I was like, I graduated SEER school literally Friday. I still have bruises where I'm getting punched in the face.
Jesus. And did they give you like some leniency?
Yeah. One of the guys, he's like, he's like, you owe me. Go back. We're gonna reinsert you. I'm gonna say you passed a PT test.
Okay.
Before we get out of here, before you jump out of a live airplane, you're gonna have to take a PT test.
Okay. So he gave you a couple days to recover.
I had like 2 weeks, so I got like 2 weeks to eat food and not have just left SEER school.
Jesus Christ, yeah, because of course, how are you going to be able to PT after getting?
I passed the run. It was the push-ups I think got me. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you were just atrophy.
I was just worn out.
Yeah,
and that's I was like because I was mortified.
I would
failing
imagine
an Army school as a Marine.
Oh, mortified!
I'd have to go, open my veins to the God of the War. Because
oh man, you didn't want to tell any of your buddies.
No,
that,
I was like,
probably.
I got to figure this out.
When did you tell people that story for the first time?
Well, I had my good friend of mine, Roger. He was with me, and he was like, he passed, but he was like, "What are you gonna do? Are you gonna kill yourself?"
Oh, Jesus!
I was like, I don't know. All I have is my pocket knife, so it's gonna be pretty awful.
Oh my God! Oh Jesus!
And I was like, I guess I'm gonna go. This doesn't seem fair. Let me go see if anybody else thinks this is kind of screwy too.
Yeah.
And then when it came back, they're like, what do you think about that for our unit? I was like, how about we do airborne school and then SEER school?
Probably a good idea.
That's the order that those things should happen.
Yeah.
And then they're like, why? And I tell them that story, and I still remember he ended up being my kid's godfather. He's like, look, you're right. We're gonna switch the order in which those happen. He's like, never tell that story again.
Never tell
He's
a
like,
soul.
If the guys around here find out you failed a school, it's over for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, really?
Jesus,
yeah,
dude. That is the truth with so many things in the military, man. If you fail a course, you're done. We're not sending you a single other course.
Like, yeah, how'd you fail? I was like, I got hit by a car checking in, and my leg was broken. They're like, I hate quitters.
I hate quitters. It's like, bro, what do you mean? I literally can't walk. Yeah, you're like in a wheelchair, and they're like, why can't you PT? Like, what do you think, man?
Yeah, of course, Hawaii Marines are weak. You're like,
Yeah, then they always go to
bone.
that.
Yeah.
Of
Wherever
course.
you're at, that's the worst place ever.
Oh yeah, wherever you're at, that's the worst place ever. Exactly, that right there. Wherever you came from is the worst place, and wherever we're at right now
This
is the better
best
place. Yeah, this is the best place.
I've never been in a Marine Corps unit that was not the best one in the Marine Corps that was the tip of the spear.
Yep.
So apparently the Marine Corps is like a snow shovel.
Yeah, because everybody's the tip.
Everybody's
it's like
the
a
tip.
flat tip across the whole board. That's funny. So anyway, you got done with airborne school. You got back to your. Now, where were you at this point? Were you in Pendleton?
No, I was still in Hawaii.
You were still in Hawaii.
4th Force Reconnaissance Headquarters was
Okay.
out in Hawaii. And so and they were building a platoon. I forget what platoon it was, because there was never enough Marines in Hawaii, and there was never enough back in Reno, Nevada was the other side of it, to make anything functional. So we stacked everybody we had together, and then we sent them to 2nd Force Reconnaissance, and they gave us every extra body they had, and we built 7th platoon, I believe.
Okay.
Which was a couple different reserve units, and then a couple active duty guys, and just enough to make something work.
Yeah.
And then deployed with it's been a long time. Deployed with another platoon from 2nd Force.
Okay. And where did you guys deploy to as force?
Al-Assad airfield.
Okay, that's right. You went to Al-Assad, and then what were you doing while you were out there?
So we were the direct action asset for that RCT. So that Marine commander that owned all of Al-Anbar.
The regimental combat team that was there?
We were his direct action asset.
No kidding.
Doing and performing all manner of things.
Okay, so you guys were doing some direct action mission raids.
So yeah, we voraciously hit the mid-level leadership of Al-Qaeda.
Okay.
And so to me, I thought we were going to totally win that war.
Yeah, because you guys were crushing it.
I came back in 2008, and Al-Qaeda had never recovered from that 2005 trip.
Because you guys were just crushing it.
We gutted the middle of that organization. So you had the tier 1 guys hitting the big names at the top. We went straight through the middle of them.
Yeah.
And then you had the grunts out there killing everybody that signed up on day 1. So,
yeah.
I came back in 05, 06, which was the pre-surge era.
Yeah.
It was insanity.
It was very kinetic.
Something happened literally every day. And we went, we did raids every single night. Sometimes we'd be flying back, and we would just fly off and do a hasty planning on the bird and hit something else.
No kidding. Same night.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I came back in 2008, and we're like, you didn't have to wear a helmet off base. We drove around everywhere without running over IEDs.
It's totally different.
Yeah, my first that first trip in 05.
You were there in 05.
We got units that would drive in front of us because we couldn't make it to our target if we didn't have like an escort, and that was
because there were so many IEDs.
So many IEDs. I remember flying back one time, middle of winter, 2005-ish, and you could see uranium just blow up randomly.
Uranium.
Yeah, that was the big MSR that ran into Al-Assad. But and the pilots would just fly. That's how they nav. They would just fly down it. So when you were flying back, you could see guys. You could see convoys
getting hit.
Just getting hit.
Bro, that's crazy. From your what kind of rotary?
53.
53.
We flew everything, but we kind of settled into 53s being the best.
Okay. The Super Stallions.
Yeah. Because, people may hate on the Osprey, but let me tell you about the Vietnam era 46s. They were not the best.
Oh.
They're like, Ospreys are dangerous. I was like, you ever take off and the crew chief is literally pumping 20 gallons of hydraulic fluid into the bird the whole flight?
Oh, my God, bro. Yeah. I don't know. Personally, the most chill flights I've been on so far were a CH-47.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
For sure. That was like the most comfortable, most safest I felt. And then I've flown on Blackhawks, but I've been on MV-22s as well, but I've never been on a CH-53.
So you got the 160th 47s and then the Marine Corps 53s. You have to be careful getting on those.
Really?
Yeah. Any helicopter that has aerial refueling capability. Because I left I left Bahrain.
Yeah.
And we flew like deep into the Indian Ocean on a 53, and it was, I think, 8 or 9 hours on that damn thing.
Just trying to go refuel.
No, we went and landed on our ship. So
on your ship.
We met our ship way outside of the theater. So
No
that
kidding.
They would have security forces coming in to the theater. So we we flew out into the middle of nowhere on a 53, and it sucked.
Was that 05?
No, that was 2000.
That was the deployment to Bahrain.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
but 53s can do weird. Like we hit almost on the Kuwaiti border a target, and we left Al Asad and we flew straight to it in a 53.
Wow,
it'll do it.
That's wild, man. I didn't realize that you could fly 8 hours straight. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but
yeah, it goes, man.
That's a long distance to be traveling. I mean,
and also it was because it doesn't matter how many people are on the target, you can bring them all back with a 53 because you cannot
fit so much in there.
You can't fit enough people in a 53 where it won't fly. So even if you stack them like cordwood and strap them down, it'll still take off
because it's got heavy lift. It's heavy lift capability. Yeah,
I mean, we hit targets in the there was trucks on target, and the crew chiefs were like, push that in here.
Really?
And we'd bring trucks back and split it with them.
So you would take trucks back from a strike that you guys would do?
Anything that fits in a 53, it'll fly. So
that's crazy. What kind of trucks would you take back?
Just the little Toyotas.
Oh, like Hiluxes and stuff? Okay. Were you guys, did you guys ever drive Hiluxes over there?
On base. It was
on base.
The early recon teams did. And then that was pretty much over by the time we got there.
Because there were too much IEDs,
they had figured the IED game out, and even our up-armored Humvees, you didn't want to drive around those.
Yeah, because it's like those things. I mean, they had the EFPs too going on out there at that point.
Well, we didn't have the EFP problem so much. Our problem was that the Army was out there, and they got up-armored vehicles first.
Yeah,
and the Marine Corps got them slightly after, but the IEDs were massive. So early in the war, it'd be like a 50-pound bomb, and it would blow your light skin truck up.
Yeah,
and then the bombs at this point were getting to be 200, 300, 400 pounds.
Jesus Christ, dude!
And so you find stuff like that.
That's dangerous.
And it got worse in 2008. Everybody had the MRAPs.
Yeah.
So then the IEDs were all like 1,000, 2,000 pounders.
Dude, 2,000-pound IEDs, bro.
And I was like, I think we're playing this game backwards. We should have went to motorcycles, and maybe we'd end up with some like 1-pound IEDs.
It's just crazy to think about. I mean, how that's like bigger than a lot of JDAMs.
Right. Yeah.
That's like bigger than air ordnance.
I remember the Army had a gigantic MRAP. And I'm forgetting what year this was, but I remember driving through this checkpoint in our vehicles, and then we got pretty far down the road, and the checkpoint we had driven through got rocked.
Did it really?
And some guy we must have driven past him, and he didn't detonate. He had a 2,000-pound bomb, and he went and hit the MRAP with it.
Oh Jesus!
But I remember being impressed because everybody that was in it lived, including the gunner.
Really?
And I was like, how did I get that maybe the driver could shake that off, but how did the gunner live? And they're like, yeah, he rammed it so the blast went up and around the front of the truck. I mean, he doesn't know his name,
Yeah.
He's not writing poetry, but he's alive.
Yeah. Yeah, his brain was probably scrambled from that.
Yeah.
It's funny. I can't imagine
how big a deal TBI became.
Yeah.
And back in 2005, if you got knocked unconscious or blown up, we just, we put you somewhere with no duties until you were useful.
Yeah.
And I remember we had been leading our whole company in. It was one of the only times where we brought everybody from Second Force, and we had mapped out this route under this railroad bridge. It had these huge culverts or tunnels that went under the railroad bridge.
Yeah.
And we drove through this thing, and then we brought our whole unit, and they drove over the same area we've been driving all day, but they drove one of the 7 tons over it.
Yeah.
And double stack anti-tank mine just sheared the whole front of the truck off.
The whole front, was there people like
Yeah, there was one E3 in there. I think he was our supply sergeant.
Oh Jesus.
But I remember they put him with the Second Force commander because they were like, this guy's retarded. We didn't medevac him. We kept him for the entire op. And he forgot his name, and the commander was calling him some other name. And they were like, hey, his name's not Johnson, it's Stevens. And he's like, but why have you been answering to him? He's like, I don't know. I thought you knew my name. I didn't know it.
I thought you knew my name because he got rocked so badly from that one explosion. But was that because the 7-ton went over and triggered a pressure plate?
It was the Iraqi moon dust.
Okay.
And so the Humvee just didn't sink in enough.
Oh,
so we
gotcha.
We led a whole platoon of recon Marines through there.
Yeah.
and it never detonated. And then this one big truck comes through and just gets rocked.
Jesus, from 2 anti-tank mines,
Yeah.
2 Russian anti-tank mines.
Yeah, I remember sitting probably 300 or 400 meters just through that, and then we're like, what just?
That was probably
we're like,
you could probably feel that in your guts.
Yeah,
I would
I
imagine.
just remember being like, are we going to get in trouble? Because we said that place was safe.
Yeah,
and it's obviously not.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I was like, we drove over it too.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That's how some of those things would happen. Sometimes it's like maybe like the pressure plate, the vehicle wasn't heavy enough to set the pressure plate because it was too deep or something. And then something heavier goes over and sets it off. And then that's it, man. Yeah.
I remember it was where we started, we're like, I think this is going to be an IED. And we'd all be like, okay. And then drive over it. And then, 20 years later, I was like, why did we do that?
Why did we try that way?
Yeah,
I think this is going to be,
was like,
let's try this.
Guys, I think this, I remember guys saying, hey, this is probably an ID. And we would all just like get ready. And I was like, why didn't we go look instead of driving over it?
Yeah. Why are we going to find out by trying to drive over it? Jesus.
I remember an infantry platoon, they were going to lead us into this target. And that's what they had 2 trucks, and they had 2 squad leaders got in 2 trucks, and they just drove down this little stretch of road. And that was our bomb roller, was 2 Marines and 2 Humvees. And then we screamed down the road behind them. And I was like, why was that how we did it?
Did they have mine rollers at that point?
No, I never saw mine. I saw the Army have mine rollers in that era, but I never saw a mine roller until 2008.
Oh my God. Okay. So that,
and
so
like,
you were dealing with a lot of
idea.
IEDs during that 2005-6 deployment. Yeah.
They were everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what. So we quit driving unless it was absolutely necessary.
Okay.
Which it was never necessary. So.
You could pretty much fly everywhere.
And that's, I talk about this when I talk about where and what I was doing, and I became a recon Marine to be cool, and I really was like watching the infantry guys to have to just suck up those IEDs, and I didn't have to.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm in an elevated position, but I really need to understand I'm supporting the main effort, which is with the infantrymen.
Yeah.
And kind of where I was like, oh, this is a thing.
I
get cool gear, but I need to do every time I get something wrong, there's an infantryman that gets killed.
Yeah. So that you think that helped you kind of take it more seriously? Do you feel?
Yeah,
like?
Absolutely. I wanted to be a recon Marine. I wanted the mission. I wanted to be cool.
Yeah.
And but before I got out of there, I was like, oh, my job is to help the infantry kill as many enemies as possible, and then also absorb as least casualties as possible.
Yeah, like reduce the impact on those guys. Yeah.
And especially, as you get older, when you start looking at, and not that I was old, I was 25 and then 28 by the time I left. But then you go over and look at an infantry platoon, they're all 18. So you start really having that kind of paternal instinct to take care of those guys. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, and you were kind of like a big brother to a lot of those dudes. And I would imagine a lot of the junior enlisted guys that were just regular grunts, like regular 03s, would probably look at you guys like, oh, man, recon? You guys are cool, man. You guys are so cool.
Yeah, and then, and that's where anything we did was definitely okay.
Yeah.
And so, you got to pay attention to how you're acting, what you're saying, because when you're in an elite formation in the Marine Corps, like you get to, like, you're influencing.
Yeah.
So,
they're going to emulate your activities.
If you guys are only doing upper deckers, it must be a reason. So they're like, we only do the top lift. That's
yeah,
what
we're only doing
does.
upper deckies too.
Well, I remember we were doing, we had specialized breachers that learned, specialized charge construction.
Yeah.
And we had an infantry unit was like, oh, I think I know what they're doing. And so what we had was a very light charge that was taped up so that you could stand relatively close to it. So when you blew the door open, you could run in. And the infantry platoon had some 0351s. They're like, oh, they cut a block of C4 into thirds and then made it into this line charge.
Yeah.
And so they stacked one on a door and blew their whole squad up. They're like they're watching us and they're doing everything we do.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I thought they hit a H bid. I was like, that was a gigantic charge. That was
Jesus.
Yeah, they stacked up on it too. So
they stacked up on it too. Oh my God. Did people die or
nobody died? But I know that the first 4 guys did get medevaced.
Oh my God. That's crazy. They just because they thought that what you guys were doing because you were using different material.
Yeah, we had specialized. I don't remember what we had here. I was about to say data sheet, but I bet we didn't have that. Not in 2005. But we had special different grain weight of deck cord, so we could go really light, really heavy, and then set up a charge that would cut, push differently. And then we used different liners, plastic media to get those done. But we were trying to figure out why they would do that, and that's what we came up with. Was like, it looks like somebody just cut. It didn't, it's not how it started, but it looks like somebody just cut a brick of C4 into thirds.
Jeez. Yeah, a whole brick of C4, that's quite a bit. And,
as an 0351, there was no training on light breaching. We got training on, like, we built, 30-pound Bangalores. We never did any like, hey, build a quarter-pound charge that will open a door so that we can stand 20 feet from it.
You were an assaultman when you started, right? Yeah. So
I knew a lot about demolition and constructing charges, but I didn't know how to push a door open. I could blow a wall open if you needed. Yeah. So I could see, they were out there trying to emulate what we were doing, because, also blowing a door open in Iraq in 2005 was definitely better than pushing it open, because all the doors had IEDs on them.
That's true. That was another thing a lot of guys that went to like Fallujah and Ramadi used to tell me, is that they would have a lot of issues with that, where the doors would be booby trapped, and guys would push the door open, and then they would take out the whole stack, right there, which is, I mean, that's deadly, like that's 4 dudes that are either critically wounded or definitely deceased, And
it stalls the unit out, because, okay, all right, you clean that all up, you get them all medevaced off the battlefield, and then they're like, all right, now open that door.
Yeah, and like, who wants to do that? Yeah, well, I'd rather throw a grenade, drop a grenade by the door and then bounce behind the other one.
I'll do anything.
Literally anything. Yeah, yeah, that's tough. But anyway, so let's see. You finished out that deployment. You came back to the States. You did one more deployment with Force.
Yeah, I did so I spent that whole time, hit a couple more schools, and obviously became a team leader, and then did one more deployment, 2008.
With Recon.
With Recon, yeah.
Yeah. And that was where?
We went to Camp Fallujah, closed it, and I went right back to Al-Assad.
Okay, so you closed Camp Fallujah down.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that like, being in Camp Fallujah in 2008?
It was, so all the scars from the battle were still there, and you could still look around and see where the big battle had happened. They were starting to rebuild. And then, like I said, as we cleaned that camp out, every recon Marine that had been there had hidden stuff all over that camp. So there was golden AK bayonets and golden AKs, and just regular AKs and PKMs and all sorts of trinkets that guys were like, I'm gonna get this back. And then when it came time to stick it somewhere and get on a bird, you're like,
do I want to go to federal prison or Leavenworth for this?
Being a recon Marine's super cool, and I heard prison's lame.
Yeah, I heard prison's pretty lame. Man, I wish they had some way to be like, look, I want to do the right thing. Like, can I register this in my name or something?
Guys don't, nobody wanted it because it was an AK. They wanted it to tell the story. Like, why can't we just demill it and let this guy bring his plaque back?
Yeah. Even if you demill it, like if there's a way to demill it out there, and then you just have a way to send it back that's legal, and then at that point it's like you can't use it. Yeah,
sure.
Because I wish there's
actually, you know what? I go to Congress all the time. I'm like, you know what? I need a law.
Yeah, because okay, I get the war trophies thing. I get don't be pulling people's teeth out of their head and stuff like that. Okay, gotcha.
Fingers, ears.
Okay, keep it. Don't none of that stuff. But if you find an AK and it's like, hey, this is like a battle you fought, and this would be like a keepsake that you could mount on your fireplace to remind you of the battle that you fought.
Honestly, keep your weird ribbons and medals, man. If I had a AK that I met this guy on the battlefield, and I was the better man, and it was hanging over my mantle, I'd much rather have that.
That's a story, And I mean, that how cool would that be to mount above your fireplace and just be like, grow old as a man and be like, I remember that battle still like it was yesterday, It's just one of those interesting things. But anyway, so you went there, closed down Camp Fallujah. You went back to Al-Assad. And then what was that deployment like?
So we, in Marine Corps fashion, we came from 2005 deployment because I had the same cadre of guys.
Yeah.
And then we were training up this new platoon.
Yeah.
So we're telling them all about getting in gunfights every night, and then we go and literally comb the desert. Man, there was nothing going on.
Nothing going on.
We did find some guys. A good friend of mine. That's what I was going to say. Every deployment I left a friend. So even in 2008, with one of the least kinetic deployments of my life, Michael Fursky was out and he was setting up training for his guys because there was nothing going on.
Yeah.
And they were hitting all these abandoned houses and to practice their CQB, and they hit one that was not abandoned, and he got shot up and killed.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was in there?
It was foreign fighters. I forget from where.
Like Chechnya or something?
No, I think they were North Africans of some
North
sort.
Africans?
We used to catch North Africans all over the place.
No kidding.
Yeah.
They were just up there to...
They're coming to fight the good fight, yeah.
Wow. That was the weird thing that was told me.
Ton of Syrians. Syrians used to show up all the time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Syrians too?
But I forget who it was,
Interesting.
but he had a house, thought it was empty, and it had about 14 or 15 guys in it.
14 or 15 guys. How many dudes did he have on him?
He had a 6-man recon team, so they punched the front door with 6 guys and instantly got in a fight with 14
Wow.
somethings.
What happened?
This is like precursor to ISIS, So the Al Qaeda was pretty much gone, and then we were saying that ISIS wasn't a thing, and it was totally a thing.
Yeah, it was starting to make its like
hey, we got some new kind of guys showing up.
Yeah, with the black flag and stuff like that.
But that was. We drove all night to get there and link up with that platoon. But of course, that fight was well over.
Did they? So they ended up killing all those bad guys?
Oh yeah, they handled it. That fight was over before we even got there.
Okay,
so they got a piece of them, but nobody gets a free shot.
But
so.
Fursky
got killed. Yeah, he went out at a empty rifle in the deep corner. Went all the way in, led his guys all the way in. He was the one man and got hit going in and probably got hit all the way to that room.
Jesus.
That second corner. So
did anybody else?
His team got shot up a little bit, and then he had 2 more teams. So there's probably about 18 or 20 recon Marines there that ended up enveloping that house and destroying it.
Destroyed the whole house.
Oh yeah, so that you couldn't get air like you could in the old days. And plus they didn't know if Fursky was dead or not.
Yeah.
So they're still fighting these guys. They've got a recon Marine in the house with them. So the platoon sergeant, and I should have looked this up because I hate telling stories and not giving the guys credit.
Yeah.
Because everybody gets to say, Earl's a Medal of Honor recipient, and I get to tell my story. But he grabbed a 7-ton and went up and Mad Maxed it and drove it through the house.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, he got a Valor Award. I think he got a Silver Star or a Distinguished Service Cross for that.
No kidding.
And they had guys clinging all over the side of the truck, and then the recon Marines were shooting them off the truck. And
wow.
The 7-ton, the latch is not on the door; it's off to the side.
Yeah,
and it's like madness. There was a dude with a vest that couldn't get that door open, and then blew his vest because he was just frustrated from not being able to open the door.
He had a vest on and blew his vest while he was on the outside of the truck. This was an up armored 7-ton.
Yeah.
Okay, so the driver was okay.
Way better than an AMRAP. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's wild. Did anybody get any Americans get injured from that vest?
No, because he punched through the house and then he was just driving loops around the outside of it as the recon Marines were shooting the truck up, trying to get them all off.
That's like there were a bunch of termites on the side of that thing.
Yeah.
That's wild. What a crazy, I can envision that, just like having these guys climbing all over the outside trying to find a way in. Did it have a gun turret?
I'm sure it did. I don't remember.
Might have, yeah.
I know ours did because I was riding an R7-ton that was our platoon support vehicle.
Yeah, and you guys would usually have like 240s or something.
We had a 50 cal.
50 cal up there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's even better.
Pretty funny. Was it Miller and Lopez? We used to swap them out. Neither one of them smoked, and then me and the platoon sergeant, we both smoked cigars. So the turret was like a chimney. I just remember driving all the time, and we'd hear our gunner coughing like
because the smoke's coming up in his face. Jesus.
Yeah, whoever got that truck, because it smelled like a cigar ashtray after that deployment.
That's funny. So where did you get cigars from?
Well, we brought a bunch, and then my lovely bride would go and buy cigars and ship them out to us.
Send them out to you?
And
That's
then
cool.
the Iraq cool thing about being in Iraq is they've got Cuban cigars, so you can go, buy a Cuban cigar and smoke it as a young enlisted man and act fancy.
That's funny. I bought bought a couple of hookahs while I was out there.
I'm going to need this for later.
Yeah, well, I had a friend of mine who actually, this friend of mine fought in the Second Battle of Fallujah in 2004. And I told him I was over there in 2023, and he's like, dude, can you do me a favor? Can you get me an Iraqi hookah?
You're like, yeah.
And I was like, I hadn't thought about that, but I was like, okay, sure. Yeah, why not? I got him one, and then he had a buddy that plays for a professional sports team in the NFL, and I don't remember who it was specifically, but I ended up getting both of them one, and I got one for myself, and I shipped him back on the postmaster's office.
I always went to get something. I was like, what am I going to buy that's like going to be my thing? And I went to get everything in Iraq is just so crappy.
Yeah, I mean,
so I was like, every time I got something, I was like, this is so chintzy.
It depends on where you go, probably, I guess. But
I was like, but now I was like, I wish I had a crappy hookah from when I was in Iraq.
Yeah, or something, just something to remember, because I couldn't keep anything like crazy. I couldn't take any dirt, even though I tried. I just was like, all right, I'm just not gonna, I literally brought dirt that I put in bags and labeled every location that I went, including all the different spots in Syria that I went and Iraq, and brought it back. And then I ended up dumping it out.
I got nothing. I was not that far. I was not a strategic thinker. Now I'm like, man, I wish I had, or like, I'd see guys like, oh, that IED almost got me, and like clip off a piece of the wire. And I was like, well, I don't want that crap for.
Oh man. I have a buddy a buddy of mine stepped on an IED in Sangin, and the initiator popped, but it didn't detonate. The main charge didn't detonate, and so it literally scared him to death probably. But he stopped what he was doing. He got a 10-digit grid, wrote it down, and he got that 10-digit grid tattooed on the top of his foot.
Good for him.
So that is about as good of a keepsake, I guess, as you can get without taking something physically back with you.
I hit a house with a buddy of mine, and we threw a flashbang in, and the whole house blew up.
A flashbang, and the whole house blew up.
I always like telling this story, and they're like, "What? How'd the house? What happened?" I was like, "They had a gas leak in their house, so when we threw the flashbang in there, the kitchen blew up. It blew the front door off, blew the windows out.
Wow!
And then it's super hilarious because there was 3 of us stacked up on this house.
Yeah, that probably scared the crap out of you.
And I remember not crossing that window because we're like, don't ever stand in front of windows because you'll get the Al Qaeda ninjas are gonna get you.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I'm glad I was not standing in front of that window because I'd have caught every bit of that.
All that, yeah, you would have caught all that shrapnel right in the face.
And then we were sitting up there still stacked up, and I remember probably like 20, 30 seconds. We're like, what do we do? And we're like, I don't know. I guess we still have to clear it, right? And so
clearing a destroyed building.
We went in, and there was a propane tank on fire just spinning around on the floor. And later I was like, why did we go in? It just blew up. It's fine. We could have totally left.
Yeah. Was there anybody in there?
No, it was just they had a gas
leak. Just a vacant gas leak house.
Crappy third world. We had, I think, more people almost die from just, walking on roofs that would collapse, or you go upstairs that aren't to code and things break.
Oh Jesus! Where was that? Where did that gas leak happen? What city was that in?
I don't know.
Some random city.
Yeah, we went out every night. So like people are like, what town were you in for this story? I'm like, I have friends that remember. If Roger was here, Roger, he's good at remembering.
Hey, Roger, if you watch this video, put it in the comments what town that was.
And like he remembers stuff like that, and he'll be like, "Oh, that was Karbala." I was like, "It was."
Oh,
he's like, "How could you not know that?
How could you forget that?"
But we went somewhere different every night. Sometimes we went 2 or 3 different places. So I'm just I didn't have a diary, so I didn't need to remember the names to write them down.
Well, it's tough. I mean, when you go so many places like you probably did, it'd probably be hard. They'd all start to blend together after a few years, And then plus you had a lot of other stuff happen after that as well, like which we'll get to. So you did this deployment. That was your last deployment with Force, right?
That was my last deployment as a Marine.
And then you came back from there. How long was it before you went to the Army?
So I was a civilian for 12 hours.
For 12 hours.
So during the wartime, the Marine Corps made a lot of weird exceptions. So I actually barely had enough time to get back from that deployment. When we started leaving, I had to be on the first flight because I only had like 20 or 30 days left in the Marine Corps at the end of our deployment.
You only had 30 hours left.
30 days.
30 days.
So I came back and I took some leave, got my DD-214 and went straight to the Army. I left the Marine Corps to join the Army. So I took my DD-14, walked right into the Army recruiter and was like, I want to be a Green Beret. And he's like, you and everybody else.
You and everybody else. Is that what he really said?
Yeah. And they had a big long talk about, are you sure that this is I was like, yeah, man.
Like, yes, I literally came here for this. This is why I got out of the Marine Corps.
Well, selection's hard. And I was like, I literally have been combing the desert with a ruck on. I'm going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm going to be fine. You had just left Force Recon as a Marine, and you're like, yeah, I'm confident that I'll be fine.
Yep. And I was a civilian for like 12 hours, joined the Army, and went to selection.
That's awesome. And then, so how long was the whole selection process for becoming a Green Beret?
So that's what I didn't look into. So there's the selection process to attend the training to be a Green Beret.
Okay.
So you go to selection to make sure that you're physically and mentally fit to be worth the investment.
Gotcha.
Of the qualification course.
Okay. Which, how long is the selection and assessment?
So selection was like 22 days long.
Okay.
And it wasn't easy. I don't want to say it was easy. Not that big a deal, man.
What did you do during that period of time? Like land navigation?
So they have land nav. But you come in, you pass the bare minimum standards for the Army.
Okay.
So I took a PT test.
Yeah.
I did a timed 12-mile ruck.
Okay.
Then they had a 5-mile run that we had to do, and then we did maybe a longer ruck. There was two short ones, and they change it. It's if you were looking for secrets, they change it constantly. I can help you. Just be ready.
I cannot help you. You must be in good shape.
And then the second week, you go do land nav, and they have a big final exercise called the star course. And you do a huge star. You'll travel between 30 to 50 clicks.
Oh wow, Jesus!
In a single night. Yeah, so you got to not quit, and you got to be good at land nav.
Yeah.
But you spend a whole week, so they don't ask you to do anything. They don't train you to do.
So they do crawl, walk, run.
You get the best land navigation training on the planet.
Okay.
For about a week, and then you go and execute.
Okay. Was that better than the land nav you got for anything you did in the Marine Corps?
The Marine Corps gave me good. The Marine Corps didn't really invest a lot of time training me.
Okay.
They used it was a filter. So if you could survive it, you got to be a recon Marine.
Okay. The
Army actually spent a ton of time teaching the guys and giving them the best chance to pass that land navigation school.
Okay.
And you came out on the backside with, even if you failed selection, you now know how to do land navigation.
Yeah.
So not that that's the best way to learn land nav, but
yeah.
if you really want to learn, they'll teach you.
They'll teach you.
And the Marine Corps gave classes, and then it was a sink or swim kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hey, go out here and execute. And if you couldn't, you went somewhere else. And if you could, you got to be a recon Marine.
Okay.
But the Army classes were really in depth. I learned a lot more about the technical aspects of it. And then I was a recon Marine, so you can't really recon things if you get lost. So I went and executed the land nav course and moved on to the last part, which is team week.
Okay.
Which they call it team week. I don't know why they call it team week, but you are in a group of people. It is your team, and you solve interesting problems. And if you're not really committed, you don't get to attend the Q course.
Okay, but that's kind of like a secretive kind of thing, more than likely.
No, I mean they're like, hey, here's a Jeep with 3 wheels and 600 pounds of stuff. It needs to be 18 miles from here before the sun comes up.
Figure it out.
Work as a team.
Work as a team. They give you some crazy problem to solve.
Yeah, so you get graded on if you guys don't make it, nobody's going to be a Green Beret, but how you interact with those people and how you get the job done in that group, which is pretty neat. Looking back on it, it was miserable when I was doing it. I was like, how did I get on the team with all the idiots in the world? And it's fun watching it. I love going back and sneaking around McCall and watching guys because, some teams will come up with interesting counterweights and contraptions. And then every now and then there'll be 20 Marines on a team and they'll have the Jeep on their shoulders running through the forest.
God. Oh my God.
Hey, this thing only weighs 1,200 pounds. Let's just pick it up.
Let's just pick it up, dude. Jesus. Do you still keep in touch with any of the guys you went through selection with?
Yes.
Okay.
Only the ones that were successful though. So
okay, yeah.
Because that's my first team, everybody quit.
Oh, gotcha.
We had a down pilot, which was a big one. Do you have a sandbag about the size of this table? And
a sandbag the size of this table.
It weighs. God, it's got to weigh 500 pounds.
Oh my God.
And you got to build a thing to hold it, and then you carry it all night. And
wow,
my entire first team quit.
No kidding.
So I was making plans because we had like 4 guys carrying this thing, and I was like, if one more person quits, we're gonna be in deep.
Yeah.
There is no. I was like, what happens then? Do I just not get to be a Green Beret?
Yeah, like I don't know the answer.
I was like, I guess I could just sit here and drag it by myself all night and see what happens.
Drag it by myself all night, bro. What happens in that scenario?
I don't know, because the guys I was with, they toughed it out, and we put it down and then moved on to the next piece of the exercise.
Yeah.
But I think they're not looking for you to look in all hindsight. They're not looking for you to do it perfectly. They're looking for the guy that's like, I guess if everybody quits, I'll tie it around my waist and I'll jerk it backwards.
Yeah.
Until I get it to that
I'm gonna find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Yeah. And then the next team I was on was all the strongest men on the planet. They were like, we can just carry it. And I was like,
Like, I'm not as big as you guys.
I have another idea.
I have an idea that's easier on your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try that.
Yeah. And then so you get done with selection and assessment, and then you go to the Q course, right?
Yep.
And how was that? How long is that?
I don't know if everyone knows, because I didn't. Every Green Beret has to speak a foreign language.
Oh, yeah. That's part of the Q course.
Yeah, I thought it was a suggestion.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I thought it was just like optional.
Because it's just so crazy to me as a young guy, especially out of the Midwest. Like, I was like, no, they're gonna expose you to it.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, if you don't speak a foreign language in 3 months, your adventure is over.
Your adventure, your own adventure is over.
And I was terrified. Honestly, that was the most stressful part of the Q course for me, was language school.
Really?
Because I was not academically deep. I had never really had any language training. It had me up at nights. But they had dumber guys than me apparently. And Ibu Maggie, she weighed about 88 pounds, and she beat me to death with Indonesian books. And 3 months later, I passed my language evaluation.
Wow! And you spoke Indonesian?
Dalam Bahasa Indonesia,
yeah. What's the language actually called?
Indonesian.
It's Indonesian.
Yeah.
What's the word for? Isn't there like a certain word for that? I forget.
An Indonesian or an American?
I guess like the type, like the language. I know you're saying it's Indonesian or Tagalog or something.
So Tagalog is in the Philippines.
Okay, so that was a different place.
So Indonesian is it's built of words that are from that area of Indonesia, but it's got Arabic from when the Arabs came through.
Okay.
It's got some similar words with Tagalog, because if you smear that across from the Indonesia, you end up in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And then a lot of Dutch, because Indonesia was a Dutch colony.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's got to be interesting.
If you want to sound fancy, if you want to say chocolate in Indonesian, it's chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Chocolate. You are a man of exquisite taste. Yes. Yes. Oh geez. So you ended up picking Indonesian. You passed it after a little bit of struggle. Where did you go after language school?
After language school, we went to SUT, which is Small Unit Tactics.
Okay. Is that where the fun really starts?
Depends on where you are.
I guess, yeah.
For me, that's it's kind of like Ranger School, or it was very BRC-ish.
Okay.
So we're getting thrashed in the dirt again. We're patrolling all night. We're living out of a ruck.
Okay.
There's always some kind of crazy physical event.
Always some kind of crazy physical event.
Yeah.
When you're tired.
Because you're always it's that hard. It's that no Marine fails SUT.
Okay.
It's that thing that we do, especially as infantrymen. We're going to patrol here and conduct an ambush.
It's just PB ops, basically.
You get ambushed on the way there. Like, you have casualties, and you're carrying casualties, and you started off with a 240, but now you've got the 240 and all the ammo. and your wounded buddies ruck, and
oh man.
and they always, they kill the patrol leader immediately, and then they come find the youngest guy and like, what's the plan?
What's the plan? And you're like stuck there holding your nuts.
Yeah.
You're like, what do I do?
Let me look at my book.
Jeez, let me see what my notes say.
And but it's 3 months long, so you're out there, grinding
90 days.
Yeah. And I had to go to, at the end of it, you go to SEER school again. So you get caught at the end.
You go to SEER school again.
Which I tried to save the government. I'm always a profound steward of the government's money. And so I tried to tell them I've already been.
Steward. I've already been. I don't need to go again, right?
So I told them, like, well, it'd be unfair.
Well, it'd be unfair.
Because you'd have an unfair advantage of graduating if you don't go to SEER school again.
Oh, man. So you had to go to SEER school twice.
And they're like, and it's different anyway. It was not different. It was
the
the exact
same thing.
same. One of my Navy instructors was actually there to make sure the POIs stayed aligned.
Oh my God.
And
so you
like,
ran into him and you're like,
and let me tell you, the first time is bad. The second time's way worse.
is it really?
Yeah, because I could see through the POI now.
Oh.
And I was like, I was trying to like prep the class for here's what's going to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
And could not have any positive influence.
Could not have any positive
everybody
influence.
else, is not seeing the POI. Everybody else is they're like I'm in a prison camp. And I'm like, this is not a prison camp. Like, this is a school. And the curriculum, they literally briefed it to us. This is where we're at in it.
Yeah.
And like, the future. I'm like, no, I don't know the future. I'm just
telling you what's in the POI, dude.
Yeah, I'm telling you what's going to happen next. And it was super frustrating.
So you knew what was coming and you couldn't do anything to prep anybody for it, and it didn't get any easier.
Because, you do a class on it, and it's like any other school.
Yeah.
And they go through the terminal learning objectives, and you have to pass each of them.
Oh, wow.
And especially if you've done it twice, it becomes very apparent where you're at in those. And I was like, hey, tomorrow they're going to let everybody eat, and then they're going to dump the food out before the officers eat. So save your food, feed it, everybody split it up. And of course, the guys in the front have eaten all their food. And I'm the only retard that kept mine. And I was like, I know that we have to like make a big show of outsmarting our captors. And couldn't get that done. Like I did get to escape. I was like, somebody has to escape. So I was on the escape.
Somebody
team.
has to
I'm
escape.
gonna escape. Yeah. So somebody has to go escape. And I was like, nope, this school is not ending until somebody escapes. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm positive.
I am positive. I am positive. We need to
faster,
somebody needs to get out of here.
It's like any other school. It can end here at the bare minimum of time spent.
Yeah.
Or we've got, extra day or two built into the curriculum until you guys figure this out.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm pretty sure I maxed out the time allotted for them to do that to us both times I went through.
Oh man!
But yeah, I was like, you guys can save money, and I'll just wait. I'll be there waiting for you guys on the back end.
Just trying to be a good steward of the government's money.
Yeah, I call it fraud, waste, and abuse.
That's so funny, man. I can't believe you had to do that thing twice. Was it in the same location? Was it on Bragg?
So I went to North Island when I was a Marine.
Is that in Maine?
That's in California.
Okay,
so
okay.
It's where the air station is. They say you go to North Island, but I was up on the backside of Pendleton for my SEER school there.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I did Fort Bragg as a young soldier.
Okay. Yeah, I heard the one that is at Fort Bragg is the hardest one.
No, they're the same, and they're the same.
Yeah, same kind of thing.
Well, I probably shouldn't say the difference. But
that's okay, but there's probably some subtle nuances.
I was like, I'll tell you the exact difference.
But relatively the same.
One of them's built more for the Navy, and one's built more for the Army.
Okay, that makes sense.
And but no, they're the same. There's
not fun.
Not fun.
Yeah.
Depending on how sensitive you are, I guess I'll give the edge to Fort Bragg. If you have to go through SEER school in the winter in Fort Bragg, people should tip their hat to you, because
people should tip their hat to you. Jesus, it's that bad. It's that bad.
It's cold, and they in a prison camp, they do not try to keep you warm. So
no. Oh man. Yeah, I remember hearing people talking about they spray you with hoses and stuff, man. And if it's cold out, man, you're gonna have a rough time. Yeah,
but I mean, it was hilarious both times.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it's that's like anything in the military. When like in the very bottom of suffering, you look over and you're like,
God, this is where
What
we're
the-
at.
Are you seeing this?
Oh my God, was there females in that with you?
Yeah.
How did they fare?
I mean, both times they get treated exactly like we do.
Rough.
And it's they're actually a training tool more for the men, I think.
Yeah, psychologically, yeah, that's what I've heard.
You know, if you and me go somewhere and they start bashing your face in, I'm like, he signed up for this.
Yeah.
But you go in with a female and they start bashing her face in.
It's
that
gonna
just
mess with you.
elicits an emotional response from you.
Yeah, that's what I was told from some other friends that went through. They said that is a tough thing that is used against you to exploit your emotional response. But
because especially in the Western world, that's not a thing that we is normalized.
No, not typically. That's I would say taboo.
It's a huge
for the
taboo,
Western world. Yeah, but anyway, so you got through SEER Part 2. Round 2.
Yeah.
And
nailed it.
Nailed it.
I'm the highly trained at getting captured.
Yeah. Do you feel like that prepared you to get for being captured?
I decided
more?
never to get captured, to be honest with you. Not to be, the tough guy, but I was like, I'm just never doing this.
Yeah. Nope. Just not going to happen.
No, I was like, if it comes to that, I'm not doing this.
No. Yeah, I hear you.
Everybody's got to surrender. I was like, you guys go ahead. I'm staying here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you, man. So you left. Where'd you go from SEER? Where'd you go after that?
So then I went to the Special Forces Weapons Sergeant's course.
Okay, now how was that school?
Funny story. So it starts off, you like every time you get through, you're like, it's becoming a gentleman's course, and then they reset you right back to not.
Oh man.
And so I remember, we're getting thrashed again and doing silly stuff like. They have a bucket full of oil and gun parts, and you're trying to build a gun. And I was like, they're like, this could happen. And I was like, you're never going to be on the battlefield and have to put a gun together.
Yeah.
And then I literally did when I earned the Medal of Honor. I literally built, 2 AKs.
Really?
Yeah. And
I'm looking forward to getting to that story because I want to hear it from your perspective.
Yeah, I built one, gave it to a Polish guy, and he instantly ran off with it. And I was like, you're supposed to cover me while I get one.
Oh, Jesus, bro, where are you going?
I was like, hey, he was pumped. He was, you curva and like charged the breach. And I was like, bro, come on. Some discipline.
Jesus.
And I'm, back out there looking for another gun. But
so like them teaching you how to build weapons in the weapons course helped you.
I go back and I hated that part of the course. But yeah, I mean, I learned to take apart and assemble weapons and diagnose malfunctions and make repairs. And on the battlefield under fire, I built 2 AKs
from spare parts.
Yeah, because when we killed all that assault force, everybody holds their gun in front of their face. So if you shoot them in the face, there's a good chance that you'll shoot their gun.
Okay, so you shot a lot of guns.
We shot every gun. Every gun had a bullet hole in it somewhere.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So you had to take apart to figure out what the problem was with each piece and piece together something that would fire because you didn't have a weapon on you anymore?
Right. I ran my rifle dry and then...
Gotcha.
And it was...
So you're having to shoot 7.62 by...
3.9.
Yeah. Instead of 5.56 NATO. Was that what you were firing, 5.56 NATO?
No, I was a 7.62 guy. I had a sniper rifle.
Okay. All right. Look, before we get there, I do want to get there. That's going to be that's going to be a meat. No, I'm looking forward to that part because that's going to be some real meat and potatoes right there. But so how was this weapons course? Explain.
So it started off like that, which was annoying because I'm like every time I think I'm not going to have to be doing 8-count bodybuilders.
Yeah.
In the dirt,
gentleman's course
and then,
stuff.
Somebody pouring a bucket of gun parts on you, and you're like, build this, and you're like, ah.
Yeah.
But after that, it was super. Super neat. I loved it. I learned to be a mortarman.
Kidding.
Yep. You do every U.S. system, every Allied system, every enemy system. So I learned to run a Chinese and the differences between a Chinese and Russian mortar.
Yeah.
I learned how to FDC both those systems.
You learned how to FDC both of them. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
FDC is hard, man.
Yeah. Well, and it's neat. It's harder because they use even amounts of mils, or not even mils. They use degrees, but they only decided that they needed 300.
How many mils is it? 6,400. That's right, in a circle.
And the Russians were like, that's way too many. So all the Russian systems are set up on degrees instead of mils.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're like.
Is that less accurate though?
Oh yeah,
that's like way less accurate.
But they put their doctrinally they put their indirect fire way closer. and there's way more of it. And so they don't really do like 1 or 2 tube missions. They'll shoot an entire section at something and they move that big blob around.
Oh yeah, is that the Russians kind of SOP? Everybody I talk to about Russians like call for fire SOP is like they just try to level grid squares at a time.
Yeah, and if you look at like the battles in Ukraine right now, you can kind of see that.
Yeah,
where you're like, what are they shooting at? Like all that.
The whole grid square.
Yeah, they're shooting at everything.
So it seems like that's been a trend that they've set, and they're still doing that type of tactic.
Well, you see, they're also not set up to fight a war this long because they're just chewing through ammunition.
Yeah.
Whereas like a U.S. mortar, something that would take the Russians 30 or 40 rounds to do, we'll do it in 1 or 2.
Yeah, yeah, because we don't have the same tactics as far as call for fire is concerned.
I'm gonna put rounds on this thing at this time, and then I'm gonna go do other things.
Yeah, and if we need to adjust fire, we'll adjust fire or whatever.
But yeah, I got to learn mortars. I got to learn every anti-armor system.
Did you shoot the TOW?
I shot tows, shot javelins, shot AT4s and laws. Carl Gustav.
How'd you like that?
I love the Carl Gustav.
Dude, the Carl G is like the dude.
That is. I love being a Marine, but when I found out that the Army had the Carl Gustav while we had the small, I was like, whoa, how did this happen?
Why don't we have this? Now the Marine Corps have it. Now they do, thankfully.
And that's but I was like, all the different ammunition it comes with, how accurate it is.
Yeah.
I was like, this is made for an infantryman.
Was it max effective?
Depends on the round, but some of those are rocket assisted projectile that'll get you out there to around 1200.
1200.
And I shot my mortar in Afghanistan, not my mortar, my Carl Gustav, 3 or 4 times a week for like a month.
Really?
Just always slinging rounds. And
that's awesome.
That's all. Matured as an infantryman. I was like, actually, why am I shooting my sniper rifle at this guy?
Yeah. I'm shooting a Carl G.
This is what I'm supposed to do. Yeah.
It's funny. I had a buddy. Super side note. I had a buddy, and this is just a story I've heard passed down from guy to guy. I can't verify.
I'm sure it's true.
I never asked him. Just for clarification. Apparently, there was a guy suspected of doing some bad stuff, and my buddy said that my buddy apparently saw him riding a bike down the street, and he shot him with an AT4 on a bicycle. And gotten a whole bunch of trouble for it because you're not supposed to do that. Apparently, not supposed to do that.
That's what I had.
Well, that's what I had, so that's what I did. But I don't know if it's true. Again, can't verify. Don't hold me to that.
For this story, it's true.
For this story, it's as a junior Marine, when you're hearing that from your buddies, it's like, wow,
that sounds
what
cool.
a war dog. That sounds so cool. Like,
and then having shot a lot of things with AT4s, I'm like, I don't know if a human would detonate it. I'm pretty sure it would just cut you.
Yeah, I don't know.
You'd have the big star.
Yeah, I don't know what would happen. I've never even shot a live AT4 before. I've shot the tracer rounds. That was it in training. But that was it.
Yeah, the first time's fun, and then eventually you're like, this is super loud. Like,
this is super loud.
Who wants to shoot the AT4? I was like, he hadn't done it yet.
Is it louder than the Carl G?
No, I think the Carl's still louder.
Yeah.
But the Carl's worth it because all the different envelope of weapons you have on it. So
they got like thermobaric stuff and all kinds of things.
And there's a dialable where you can laser range find, and then it'll detonate in the air right over it.
Dude.
And so I use that extensively. It's
because you could shoot over the top of a covered concealed position. Yeah, and they could blow it up down onto them. Which is super effective if they're just taking pop shots from behind a trench.
So that was the Afghan ambush where they're like 1,200 meters away shooting at you.
Yep.
And if you shoot at them with a Carl Gustav, they will. If you don't kill them, they will like, hey, leave these guys alone.
Yeah. Hey, leave these. We're not coming back here. This is not fun. That's funny. Yeah. Well, the Carl G is. I've never shot one. I've seen them shot. I've seen some of the capes and limbs, and they have a lot of different types of abilities, a lot of different types of utilizations.
We're getting too doctrinal. I think it's perfect for the Marine Corps right now because as they pulled all that organic support from the back end of the Marine Corps, like how do you upgun a infantry squad?
Yeah,
and giving them a direct fire, 81 millimeter mortar is a pretty good way to do it.
Yeah, that's 100%, man. Yeah, and honestly, like the fact that they're training everybody to use them, not just the 51s, since 51s went away, I think that's super valuable too.
If you have an infantry platoon and everybody's carrying 1 or 2 rounds of Carl Gustav, leave those guys alone.
Yeah. Yeah, leave those guys alone. Exactly. So anyway, so you went to this weapons course. You had a really good time. You learned a lot about weapon systems, both American and foreign.
And I'm a gun nerd, so this was, you know,
Are you?
I'm getting into heaven here because they're like they have a huge library there, and they're like, here's an OG Makarov. Here's a I did a whole day of submachine guns. So
that's
I got
awesome.
to shoot, you know, a German MP40. I got to shoot a Thompson for an entire day to get good at it.
For an entire
I was
day
like-
to get good at it. That's
And I'm like,
freaking dope.
Yeah, and Uzi. We had a whole, you know, POI on shooting a Uzi, and I was like,
That's
this
cool,
is
man.
This, you know, this is real. This is real life.
That's the dream.
Yeah. I'm like, finally, the Q course is not this, you know, tragic disaster for my body, but I'm getting to actually do fun things.
That's awesome. So you enjoyed that course a lot then.
Yeah. By the time I hit the weapons course, I was like, dude, because I had some doubts.
Yeah.
I was like, did I make, you know, because I still had Marines that were deploying and getting killed, and I'm in here trying to conjugate verbs in Indonesian. I'm like, what am I doing, man?
Yeah, that would have probably been frustrating at the time, like when your guys were deploying to Afghanistan and you're like in language school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be tough, especially watching the news and seeing that stuff going on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's, you know, and even then I still, you know, guys I had deployed with on that 08 trip, they're deployed again.
Yeah.
And so I'm like getting phone calls from guys that are getting after it again. So I'm like,
yeah, I'm so ready to be done with this course.
yeah.
How much longer did you have after the weapons course to get the weapons?
So I had 3 more months. So I went right into Robin Sage, and then a little bit of hanging out because they have to plan a graduation and get your orders cut. So
Okay. And then when you got your orders cut, where did you go?
Joint Base Lewis McChord.
Okay, so you went to JBLM. That was the first place you went.
Yeah, they have after selection they have a big I don't know, psyop, but you watch a little demonstration movie for every group, and then you pick your group. And
You picked that one.
well, I did. I talked to a Green Beret, John Nettles, and I was like, which group's the best group? And he's like, yeah, honestly, if you don't think your group's the best group, you're probably not a very good Green Beret. I was like,
That's fair.
but he's like, obviously, I got my group. I think third group's the best group. And
Third group is mostly Africa, right?
it was at that time.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll tell you the secret. Have your wife pick your group because she's going to live there and you're going to be gone all the time. And so I went and asked my wife, you know, I showed her where all the groups at. Where do you want to live?
Yeah.
And so she picked 10th group and first group. And she's like, either of those will be fine. I can live in Colorado Springs or I can live in the Tacoma area. And the 10th group's video comes up, you know, and first groups, you know, they went numerically. First group, they're out. They're in the Philippines.
Yeah. Paycom.
They're in Thailand. They're in Hawaii. And I was like, oh, okay. I've been, you know, I know that. I know what that is.
Yeah.
And then 10th groups comes up and the first thing is a guy and he's like cross country skiing with a 50 cal on his back. And I was like, huh. And then
Cross country skiing.
yeah. And then there's a guy and he's snowshoeing and they're like snowshoeing in a blizzard. And
Interesting.
And they got rucks on with mortars and stuff. And I was like, huh. And then there are guys in the snow cave setting up a hide site for the sniper rifle. And I was like, And then I remember the last scene was a diver coming up to a sheet of ice and he's cutting a hole in this ice to pop out like a seal. And I was like, bro, 10th group is gone. They're dead to me. I'm like,
Oh, wow.
like they didn't have a single thing they were doing that wasn't either the snow or the water. And I was like, we're going to first group.
I'm good.
Yeah,
We're going
so
to first group.
I wrote first group down 3 times. You get 3 choices, and I wrote first group. You know,
That's
three
funny.
times.
And where is first group is JBLM?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is first group's area of responsibility, like a known Googleable fact?
Yeah, it is. It's Hawaii to Pakistan,
Hawaii to Pakistan,
which is a fair bit of the planet.
That's a lot of space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of the largest AORs. It's
Jesus.
massive.
Okay. Yeah. But all the groups, like their AOR is pretty, like it's
Yep.
Googleable.
You got Africa, Europe,
Who's responsible for Europe? 7th?
10th group.
10th. Okay.
Yeah, so
okay. That makes sense. The snow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they love the snow. They
And then 5th has typically been CENTCOM. 3rd
Yep.
has typically been AFRICOM.
and then everybody's got a little bleed over on the edges.
Yeah.
But no, that's where you go, and then that's how I picked first group, and so the Army picked Indonesian for me to learn.
Okay.
It's like-
It makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So you
pick your group, you get assigned your language, and then
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So you found out what group you're going to before you even got your language assigned.
yeah,
Okay.
Well, if I failed language school, I knew that I wasn't going to first group.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so you get out to JBLM, and then how long before you are done with language, done with the whole pipeline? You're back. You're back up there.
I left the. I think I cleaned it up in almost just over a year. I want to say maybe a little bit more than a year.
Yeah.
I left the Marine Corps and then was going to my next duty assignment as a qualified Green Beret. But that was,
just over a year.
I didn't have to go to airborne school.
Because you already went.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I skipped a little bit of the things that you need. And then, just one of those guys. I never got hurt and I never had to recycle, which is not typical usually. When you start looking at the guys who are successful but go straight through, that's not a habitual point of performance.
It's not super common.
Yeah, because you're getting tired and beat down, and you're running or walking through the woods with a ruck on at night. So guys just get hurt all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Because and you're also not sleeping enough, so you're not getting all that rest and recovery time you would normally get.
Yep. And then depending on, luckily, I think coming from a deployment where I lived under a heavy ruck, my bone density was probably up because a lot of guys just got stress fractures just from beating themselves under a ruck. And if you haven't lived like that, it takes some time to get used to it. Yeah.
Well, you were like, I feel like you might have had like a slight edge over your random like novice dude because you were
definitely.
a Force Recon Marine.
Yeah, I was
going through Green Beret special like.
I mean the patrolling, that was not I can walk all night and not get lost. Yeah. And I don't feel sorry for myself because it's raining and my ruck weighs 100 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is.
Yeah. This
is what we do.
This is what we do. Yeah. Man. Yeah. And that's, I feel like cheerfulness is almost like one of those leadership traits that you kind of like gain from some of that stuff.
Yeah, if you hate it, they don't pay you enough to do it, man. Like if you're not having fun, go work somewhere else.
Yeah. 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 So that's a good point.
You can make way more money not doing that. So yeah, if you don't like it, don't stick around here.
Yeah, that's fair point. Fair point. So you got done with the school, the pipeline, you get to JBLM. When's the first time you deploy with them?
So I got to 4th Battalion, and it was a brand new battalion, which I was appalled because I thought, definitely I'm at the tip of the spear now, right?
Yeah, yeah. The tip top.
The tippity top.
Yeah.
And I get to this unit where they're building it. It's being manned and equipped. And so I've always been lucky. Apparently, if you like going to schools, hang out with me because that's what I was doing. So that I just started going to schools again for like 6 months before I deployed.
Oh wow! Okay. So what school did you go to?
So I got to go to sniper school, Sephardic, and a couple more. But
what is Sephardic?
So Sephardic is a CQB school that the U.S. Army Special Operations Command runs, and it's one of those. It's like guys wait their whole career to get to go. So,
no kidding.
Yeah, that was I've always been lucky like that. I got forced to go to dive school.
Oh, forced.
Yeah, because how my funding was set up.
Oh, wow.
So I went to dive school, which is as a Force Recon Marine, a lot of guys were doing 1 or 2 deployments before they get a chance.
Yeah. So you didn't need to go to dive school as a Green Beret because you already went to dive school.
I was already good. Yeah.
Wow.
I had a platoon sergeant that didn't like that I was uneasy on airborne ops, so he made me go to free fall school.
Of course.
So I had 5 jumps. So you have 5 at the school to get qualified. My 6th jump was at free fall school, and we almost jumped once. And he was like, "You looked really nervous," and that made me very uncomfortable.
That made me very uncomfortable.
A Force Recon Marine should be competent, and if not, he should be able to hide it. I was like, okay. He's like,
okay.
So my big test was he sent me to free fall school. And so my 6th jump ever was, off the ramp at free fall school at like 12,000 feet.
Jesus. And then you jump out of 50, or are you jumping out of 47s?
C-130.
C-130s, just out the back?
I'm not scared of jumping anymore. He fixed me. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to jump anymore, fortunately.
No, people always ask me, you want to go skydiving? And I've got, 400 or 500 jumps in the military. And I was like, no, I'm
400 or 500. Yeah, no, I've done enough.
I've got it. It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
You should go do it though.
Yeah, go have fun. I've never been one to have any interest in doing that. I love watching the videos. I'm cool with that. I like being on the ground.
I didn't want to be airborne, but I did want the badge so that people knew that I was super cool. Unfortunately,
I wanted the badge.
The military is a meritocracy, so if you got a cool badge, you got to earn it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the deal, man. You know, people, everybody's always comparing each other, and you're being compared to everybody all the time, especially for promotions and
Yeah.
selection for assignments and everything like that. So having the shiny badge just sets you apart sometimes.
Yep.
Okay,
And
so
I did it for the chicks. You know, the chicks don't know the difference between MOVOS and free fall school. So
they definitely don't. Yeah, they definitely don't. That's funny. Yeah, no, they. I guess like if you're at a bar and you're like, oh man, I went to airborne school. They're like,
I remember. Yeah,
that's
I remember.
cool.
I went to Fleet Week in New York City.
Yeah.
And all the recon Marines were deeply offended that the girls didn't know the difference between the Pogues and the recon Marines. Like, why are they talking to those dudes?
Because you're all wearing the blue uniform.
They know they don't have gold jump wings? Unbelievable. Man, she's gonna be super disappointed in the morning.
Oh my god, dude, that's so funny. This is probably something that's happened for centuries, I'm sure. Like, they just feel like, oh man, that guy never went to Grenada. Oh my god,
loser.
What a loser. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like part of the culture. It's so funny. But anyway, so you got 6 more months of schools under your belt, and then after that 6 months of schooling,
I got my first Green Beret deployment.
And where was that?
Counter narcotics mission in the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
And
very different.
Oh, it was a great learning experience. I being much more well-rounded as a Green Beret because I knew how to land on a helicopter and shoot at people.
Yeah.
And then it was also, I was like, dude, I'm gonna dig this because we stayed at a 5-star hotel. Like,
did you really?
Nice. Yeah.
And you're doing ops out of your hotel room?
Yeah. And I was like, this is the life.
That is so freaking cool.
As a Marine, I don't think I ever got hotel per diem. They're like,
yeah.
I remember deploying after 9/11 and we got stuck at a place that had a hotel and they were like, hey, my commander had decided, it was like, hey, I think you guys have been issued sleeping mats and sleeping bags. So I don't know if it's legal for us to get you hotels.
That's so cool though. You got hotels. Do you remember where you stayed? Like what city?
It was in Manila.
Okay. So you were in Manila.
I was in Manila. It was a Hilton. It's the New World now. Cause to me, I used to go back and stay at the same hotel, even though, it got dumpier and dumpier over the years, but that was my hotel for my first trip. So it was like special.
That's so funny. Yeah. And so where were where were you guys doing these counter narcotic operations out of?
Oh, so we were working on Luzon.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And we stayed at this hotel because it was walking distance from the embassy.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we're gonna need do that. And I still remember me and my warrant. On the first day we were there, we got in suits and went to the embassy and we walked because it was walking distance.
Yeah.
And literally showed up soaking wet to talk to the embassy because we just sweat all over the place.
Oh yeah, because it's freaking hot.
Walking
and humid.
distance in the Philippines is not walking distance anywhere else. So we're like, hey, we'll just walk down there and we'll walk back.
It's probably humid
the
as hell.
traffic was terrible. Yeah, I know it was 500 degrees, 100% humidity.
Jesus, it's like breathing water vapor.
Literally, yeah. You come outside, it's like like breathing over a hot pot of soup.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's just wet, man. That's crazy. So how were those missions out there? What kind of things were you guys?
It was you get to work with. I never worked with law enforcement other than if they were trying to arrest us in Waikiki.
Sure.
But working with another country's law enforcement, seeing how the State Department and the military work together with a foreign country, and I was like drinking I was like, wow, I didn't know the military was involved with the State Department.
Yeah.
And seeing the foreign policy get implemented and actually driven on the ground, and then seeing what's really at play. So the Chinese. I would say at that time, probably still now, like to destabilize their neighbors, and so they keep the drugs cheap in the Philippines.
Wow.
And then Philippines fighting a drug problem as a third world country is fair. I mean, we can't do it as a modern country, so it's a big ask.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't never considered that was something that they would try to do there. And I mean, I think they're trying to do that here with the cartels and stuff too, for sure, with the fentanyl and everything.
It's funny to me that the Latin cartels are talking about like maybe no more fentanyl So it's interesting that the cartels care more about us than the U.S. government. Like, we
Yeah.
should really talk about this fentanyl that we're doing.
Yeah, we should probably stop doing this.
And it's all coming out of China. So China keeps the fentanyl cheap.
Yeah.
And thinks we're idiots for letting it into the country. So
Yeah. Well, they're definitely cracking down on it now, man.
Yeah,
They're blowing up drug boats and stuff too.
yeah, bring it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, eventually they're going to get, if they keep blowing these drug boats up, then eventually they're going to be like, yeah, we can't continue to afford to lose people like this. So we need to stop.
You can afford to lose them, but where do you find somebody that's like, I want to smuggle drugs going to prison's one thing, but getting blown up, like, how much does that cost?
Yeah. How much is that worth to you?
Yeah. And then, a lot of the countries down there that they say they're going to fight us, but like, find me the army that's like, I'm willing to die so that my president can sell drugs to America. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we can't have billionaire cartel leaders in my country, what do we have?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that's interested.
Yeah.
I think most of the people down there.
This is super important to me that we sell drugs to America.
Yeah, I think most of the folks down there are just trying to make a good living and feed their family.
Yeah, and that's what everybody. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah,
and so you have to draw some hard lines and make it easier to do something else.
Yeah. If you make it easier to have an alternative, then they're going to go that way because they want to take the easier, softer path.
And I think that's a lot of Americans miss. This is like, being in an American prison is not the worst thing that can happen to you in the world.
Yeah, being in like South American prisons is a totally different ballgame.
Being a free person to do your own wants and needs in Bangladesh is much worse than being in an American prison.
Yeah,
that's playing life on hard.
Yeah, Bangladesh. Yeah, if you're living in Bangladesh, that's on hard mode for sure.
Like, I want to restart. I want to start in prison.
Yeah, I want to restart and teleport over here.
So they're like, we put drug dealers in prison. I'm like, dude. Like, if you grew up homeless on the streets of Manila, an American prison is great.
Yeah, compared to the streets of Manila, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, it's all about perspective.
There's an orphanage at the dump in Manila, and they sort trash.
That's crazy.
And that's where they get their food. They eat out of the dump at Manila. It's called Pog Pog. Yeah.
No kidding.
So you got to understand, rock bottom for an American is not rock bottom for everybody else.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why people have constantly, why we've been getting the what's the word for it? We've been getting scammed. We've been getting just terrible deals constantly because people are like, these guys are going to pay this much for this.
They're idiots. Yeah,
they're idiots. They don't understand how bad it is other places. Let's charge them more because they got the money for it. They can back it up and stuff. Yeah. And we've been just kind of getting the.
And then also, you have I've met them, guys in the State Department. They're guilty Americans. They're like, I know we're getting scammed in this deal, but their country sucks. I'm like, I get that, but you're raising a spoiled person.
Yeah, you're raising a spoiled person.
We don't need to take advantage of them, but this should be a fair deal. And I think a lot of the foreign policy and trade deals you're seeing get reset.
Yeah, they're definitely changing a lot of stuff for sure. Yeah, and I mean that's good. We need to get better deals. Even if we do have more to give, we should still make sure that it's happening fairly because it gets passed down to the taxpayer.
Yeah, it's like the Indian visa thing that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Maybe a U.S. corporation that's worth, a couple $1 billion can invest in teaching an American how to do a job and pay him a fair wage.
I like that.
That would be cool.
Put Americans to work.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. Yeah. Anyway, so you did some counter-narcotic stuff in the Philippines. Man. How long were you there for?
6-7 weeks. Something like that.
Only 6-7 weeks.
Yeah, SF deployments, unless you're part of the GWAT, are typically pretty short.
Okay, so that was a pretty short pump. You worked with. Mm-hmm. Did you ever work with DEA over there, or just State Department?
We had. We just State Department. But there was a DEA liaison, but not really for what we were doing. So we were more assisting the Phils with dealing with their drug problem.
Okay, gotcha.
And the DEA guy there is just looking for intelligence on infiltration of drugs into the United States.
Oh, there. Okay, that makes sense.
We're all doing the same thing in different places.
Yeah, different aspects. So you did that deployment. You came back. Where did you go after that? What year was it?
Let's see here. It's been 2010, 11. I think my next trip would have been Nepal.
Nepal.
Yeah.
Which just got overthrown, by the way. Did you see that?
I did. I noticed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I like Nepal and I like the Nepalese people. I love that in the middle of them overthrowing their government, tourist buses would come through and everybody would just wave them through and be chill.
Yeah.
Waving at them. Don't worry. We're
it's all good. It's on fire building over there.
You're
the
fine.
Parliament building's on fire. You know what's really funny is there's this anime TV show called One Piece, which is like a really popular Japanese anime show that's been playing since like the 90s. And it's super popular in Nepal, apparently.
Huh.
And it's about like this kid who wants to be the king of the pirates, right? But he goes around, he builds up this massive pirate crew and becomes friends with all of them. And essentially they're like constantly fighting against like the world government, essentially, which is like Marines, essentially, is what they call them. But they build this big team of all these pirates and like kind of like repel the government, but they're doing like good things for the people. And like there were people with the signs that like the logo for that anime TV show over there in Nepal as they're overthrowing the government.
I'm pumped for him, man. Like,
Yeah.
go
Gen
for
Z.
it.
They voted in the new prime minister on Discord.
Oh, really?
On Discord. They had a vote on Discord.
I guess if your system's corrupt, find something that's not, and it can't be worse. It can't be worse than who
I
you
guess
don't want.
not.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked. I mean, they elected it through they elected her through Discord, and now she's and she apparently was a woman who is very pro anti-corruption. She's like been fighting
Well,
corruption
I
for a
should
while.
hope she's very.
Yeah.
She's like a sharp lesson if she's not.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hey, there's still blood on the steps. So.
Yeah. So what did you do while you were in Nepal?
I worked at the Nepalese Ranger School.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys just train them, or
We just trained them and trained with them. So every time we go, we give them something that we have.
Yeah.
And then we take something that they have.
partner force development type stuff?
Their ranger school is at like 8,500 feet.
Wow.
So even I had this big plan that I was gonna walk to work the first day.
Horrible
to get
idea.
over this. I'm gonna grab it by
I'm gonna
grab the
acclimate
bull by the
myself.
horns, man. Yeah. And I remember walking. The hotel's like on the side of this cliff in Nagarkot,
Really?
and I use the word hotel, but it's a series of buildings that have been built onto a cliff.
How sketchy was that?
It was neat. I loved it.
Was it really?
And I'm like literally looking out across Nepal, and I can see Mount Everest every morning, and I'm like, this is amazing.
That's freaking cool.
And I remember walking down to get a cup of coffee, and my hands were shaking so bad that I could not drink the coffee.
Really?
Yeah, because the altitude was murdering me.
The altitude was messing you up that bad.
I went from sea level to 8,500 feet in a single day,
Oh wow.
and we went straight to work.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How long do you think it took you to get acclimated to
I
that?
don't think I got acclimated until we left. I was there about 6-7 weeks also,
Really?
and I remember not being able to drink any alcohol for like 2 weeks.
Oh, really? Because they would just
they
like
you want a beer with dinner, and I was like, I remember drinking like half a beer and being like, I don't know if I can do
walk.
this.
I don't know if I can walk right now after one beer.
But by the time we left, I was able to move myself. But they would ditch us every time. Every piece of training we did, they would just disappear on us.
Really?
Because they live up there and they're hard, man. And some of those guys are coming down to altitude.
From a higher spot.
Yeah, their snipers do a big exercise every year where they climb up to like 17,000 feet and take shots.
Jesus.
And I was like, "Brr."
17,000 feet.
But you get weird numbers like that in Nepal. Because, the highest mountain in Washington, Rainier.
Mount Rainier, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 15,400 feet.
It's pretty high still.
Base camp for Rainier to start. Base camp for Everest is slightly above the peak of Rainier. So
Jesus.
they call it the top of the world for
a reason, yeah. Because there's like there's no oxygen up there. You gotta bring oxygen masks.
Yeah, there was a commercial flight path that came over this ridge we were on, and I remember the planes were coming over just silly low, like prop planes, and they were fighting for their life to get over this ridge so they could
fighting for their life,
turn and land at Kathmandu. And I just remember like guys are coming over at like 900 feet. I was like, why are they flying so low? And he's like, that they're maxed out to get over this ridge so they can, with the whatever they're hauling.
Jesus, man.
I was like, huh.
It's such a different world over there, dude. It's like a different planet.
That was the funnest part of being a Green Beret, besides being in combat and doing the coolest missions. Is it's like a Indiana Jones life. Like every couple months you're going to be in one of the most profound areas of the world doing something cool.
That's a freaking amazing story. Just like,
and our biggest loss of guys is retirement. Like that's
really
the Army loses almost all its Green Berets to retirement, which if
wow.
you look at everywhere else, guys get out. But it's whenever you go to group, you're like, God, good Lord, how old is that guy?
There's a bunch of old dudes
bunch
in
of
there.
old dudes like fighting for their life.
Fighting for their life.
To stay as long as they can.
I like how you put that, fighting for their life to stay in.
My radio operator on my first ODA was like 48 years old.
48 years old.
Mike Couch. He had a heart attack and died in the gym because somebody gave him a Monster. Like, hey, drink a Monster. It's great for your workout.
Oh my God.
So he drank a Monster and started some workout and had a heart attack and died. And they shocked his ass back to life. And then he was on my team and we deployed with him.
What? He's like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
The dude died and came back to life.
And he still smoked. He would smoke and he couldn't take a knee on missions.
He couldn't take a knee because his knee was so bad?
No, he couldn't get back up because he was like, his mobility was so bad. And so if we took a knee, he'd do it. He'd be like, hey, we're going down. And he'd be like, come on.
Come on.
Because even without a ruck on, to get up from a knee, he would have to like grab an Afghan and climb up, or he'd have to like roll over and then like fight he's like an old man. He's 48.
Jesus. Yeah, man. Being 48 in like an operational rotational Green Beret unit. I'm like 10 years younger than that, and that's hard for me.
I left my team as a team sergeant, and I'm taking injecting Toradol during PT because I'm going to need it to survive this. And then I've got collegiate athletes that are in their early 20s that work for me, and like ODAs are so funny, man.
Yeah,
like,
this is a wide.
I'm going to lead you guys on a run.
Yeah, lead. Yeah, it's just like there's a wide variety of age and physical debilitations and everything across there.
Yeah, especially when I was leaving, all the old guys have been shot. All the young guys are massively in shape, and it's just funny. It's like a movie, man. You're like in here showering, and like all the guys that just joined are all ripped. With 8-packs. Yeah. And then all the old guys have like crazy Barnes scars all over them. And it's a special place, man.
That's so wild to think of. Yeah, because I mean they're like the old crusaders that been in sword fights already. You know,
and it's guys will become warrants and do like 30, 40 years over there.
God, that's so crazy.
My first warrant, my first company, Chief James, had his Ranger School uniform hanging up in his office.
Yeah.
It was olive drab.
It was olive drab.
Yeah.
It was before 2000.
It was before, I mean, even in 90 and 88, they would have been wearing Woodland, man. So like this guy went to Ranger School like in Vietnam.
Jesus. Like the 80s or early 80s, late 70s?
I was like, I don't know when all of the 80s.
Olive drab.
He had the solid olive drab.
That's crazy.
Like we were soldiers once. That was his Ranger School uniform.
Wow. That dude had been in for like 40 some odd years.
Yeah. And he was old, man. He looked like he was like Peepaw.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Like when you speak of that, we had a gunner. Well, I wasn't there to see it, but my buddy told me he was doing this squad comp at one point, and they had a warrant officer show up in chucks that had the Vietnam ribbon on his chucks. Yeah, and the dude was old, like really old. And they're like, bro, it's 2016 right now. What? Like, how long has this dude been in the Marine Corps? Did you go to Vietnam in like 1970? Like, that means, it's, what is that, 50 years? Like,
you know what's funny is, Dakota Meyer.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be that guy.
Yeah, oh, well, yeah.
Because he did, I think he did like 6-8 years.
Yeah.
And then, what is it? 12-year break in service.
Yeah, 12-year break in service, and then he's back.
And so he's like, he's gonna be walking around, and they're like, that dude earned the Medal of Honor in Afghanistan. Like
we haven't been in Afghanisan in 35 years.
Especially, I assume he's gonna stick around for a while this time. So that guy's gonna be walking around, and they're gonna be like, you earned the Afghan campaign ribbon, huh?
Yeah,
like, yeah, in 05.
Like, yeah, they're gonna be like. It's 2045.
I called him and talked to him when he was in BRC.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You said this wasn't gonna be that hard." I was like, "I don't think I said that.
I don't think that's how I phrased it.
I did it at 24, and it was incredibly hard. And you're 36. It's have Advil, man. You're gonna need them.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't imagine doing that at 36 years old, bro. That's like, yeah, my body falls apart much easier now than it used to.
That's where, every now and then I have a friend that's like, hey, you want to go to Ukraine with me? And I'm like, bro.
No. What do I look like?
You would have to hold them off for a good 10 minutes if they attacked on a cold night, because that's how long it would take me to get out of bed.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I've had a lot of buddies that did
but
that.
You got to buy me some time here.
Yeah. Yeah. Please suppress them while I'm getting out of my sleeping bag.
Takes me 30 minutes to get, bent out of an L position when I sleep on a hard floor.
Bro. Yeah. I mean, I had some buddies that went, so some of the peer group that was in 2-3 with me when I was out there, since we never experienced combat, a lot of them went to Ukraine after they EAS because they wanted to experience it.
Got to go get that stamp.
Got to get that stamp of like, I have done this thing. Some of them got shot, and they come back and recovered, but
I see Marines everywhere across the planet. Yeah. But something's in the water out there in Hawaii, because I see 3rd Marines guys everywhere all the time, and working with 3-letter agencies, doing things for like Triple Canopy that are pretty aggressive, and I don't have a book of it, but I see more 3rd Marines guys doing those things, and I bump into them in the weirdest places. Yeah. Like if you meet somebody out in a weird place and they're a Marine, I'm like, I think there's a better than average chance that they were a 3rd Marines cat. I don't know why.
It's just a trend that's been set. Yeah. I wonder why that is. Maybe we all got a chip on our shoulder.
I think it is. You're out in Hawaii, and it's not 29 Palms, because even if you don't go to war as a 29 Stumps guy, you still were out there, and you get to say it was the shittiest base in the entire Marine Corps, and I was there.
Yeah, and I spent
What'd you do?
4 years.
I spent 4 years walking around in the desert.
Yeah, I spent 4 years shooting on range 400.
Yeah. That's what a nightmare.
Yeah,
being able to leave your barracks and walk to range 400.
Oh, bro.
Let's go do it. We've got nothing else to do.
I mean, that's the one thing they do have that edge on everybody else, is they have the most primo range training facilities in the Marine Corps right there in your backyard.
No, anytime you see somebody like bust out a battle drill and it actually looks like it's supposed to look in the book, you're like,
you were in 29 Palms.
That's 29 Palms unit.
Yeah, that's probably 7.
Because everybody else, you're like, I kind of see what they're doing.
Yeah, I kind of see. I see what they're trying to do.
It's mostly right.
It's mostly right.
That's just not. You guys are kind of aimed the wrong way.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, so let's see here. We were. I know it's easy for us to get sidetracked.
Yeah, we did Nepal things.
Nepal, that's right. And so you were just doing partner force development with them. You were out there for 6 more weeks. You came back from that Nepal trip,
and I think I came back from that trip, and my sergeant major at the time, Tony Bell, he had I remember coming in, and he was a big Monday morning formation guy, and he would kick us out of the building. He was also phenomenal leader, wanted us training all the time. Yeah. Like he had he's saying, I don't want to be a team sergeant major.
A team sergeant major?
Yeah, because we have team sergeants. He's like, I'm not a team sergeant major.
Okay.
So, get out. I don't need to see you.
Yeah.
And, but he had us come in. We had this meeting on I think it was a Monday at like 10 o'clock in the afternoon, man. And we had a bar, and he had us come to the bar, and he made everybody open a beer. And I was like, because I thought we were getting like, what happened over the weekend? We're about to get yelled at, Yeah. And then he made everybody get a beer and open it. And he's like, we're going to Afghanistan, and we're clinking beers and throwing it back. And I was like, oh, sweet.
Yeah. And that was that we deployment.
So this is like 2012, and we started our train up. We spent about 6-7 months training up and hitting all the wickets to say you're allowed to be deployed for GWAT.
Okay.
And then hit that 2013 deployment.
And that's when you went to Ghazni.
Yep.
All right, so let's hear about the Ghazni. I don't want to leave that part out. Yeah.
So, I started out on ODA.
Okay.
And then
which stands for what for those?
Operational Detachment Alpha, which is it's the smallest base unit for SF, which is 12 guys.
Okay.
And that's where you want to be. That's like
'Cause that's where the action is.
That's the thing. And everybody joins to be on an ODA. Nobody. I mean, I hope nobody's joining to be on an ODB, which is the company headquarters.
Oh yeah.
Why'd you go to selection? I want to be.
I really want to be on a
supply sergeant for an ODB.
I really want to be on a big base.
Yeah. And they closed our camp, and my sergeant major gave me a choice. I could come work for him on the ODB, or I could go back to the United States early.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I chose to stay and work for him.
Yeah.
And we're on Fob Ghazni, and I was the weapons sergeant for the ODB, which is it is not a kinetic job. It's 100% supply and logistics. I do touch a lot of guns, but only broken ones. And
so it's more of an administrative position.
It's an administrative. I keep all the guns and ammunition repaired, maintained, so that the guys on the ODAs can go get in the fight.
Yeah.
Which sucks, especially as a young guy.
Because you're like, this is not what I want to be doing.
No, and every night we had the SATCOM soap opera. So you go and listen to the teams that are ticked up every night.
Yeah.
And I'm in there like ordering, firing pins. And,
man.
Shipping. I'm like, well, that sounds like a pretty significant gunfight. I'm going to box up ammo tonight and get it headed their way.
Yeah.
But the camp, Ghazni, we were going to close it at the end of this trip.
You were going to close it?
Yeah. And the Taliban found out, and they decided if they attack the camp and overrun it, win. And if we repel them, we're still going to close it so they get to claim a win. Like they closed it because we.
That's okay. They closed it because we attacked it. Yeah.
So like it's one of those, hey, don't tell. We tried to never tell them what camp was going to close because they would do that. As soon as the Taliban found out we were closing the camp, they'd come in and smash it.
Jesus.
And we were getting indirect fire, not every day, but common enough. At least weekly. And I thought they were just harassment, but what they were doing was they were laying their guns in. But one or two rounds at a time.
See how the distance was, the range.
And then they were getting feedback from where the rounds were landing. They'd infiltrated the workforce on the camp.
They'd infiltrated the workforce?
Yeah, we figured we had like 80 Taliban members that were like working on base daily.
What were they doing?
Filling sandbags and cleaning the chow hall. And just all those little jobs we had to stimulate the Afghan economy and to keep American infantrymen from flying across the country to fill 8,000 sandbags.
Yeah,
they were doing those things.
Wow.
And but that's so they the guys they built a map of our camp hand drawn that was actually, I wish I'd kept one of those, but we turned them all into our intel. But after the battle, they had these little maps that were phenomenally well done. That was precisely
hand drawn
all of the infrastructure on the camp, and then it had the bunkers shaded differently by population density inside the bunker. So so they knew every bunker to hit that would be like, for max casualties.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it was really, I was always, not to get sidetracked, I was always really impressed with how well the Taliban fought, because the Iraqis and the Al Qaeda and ISIS guys were just, every plan, I was like always kind of let down. I was like, that's what you guys had all night. That's what we came up with.
Dog doo-doo.
Yeah. There was like, they were just in a race to get to heaven.
Yeah.
Like, how can we get there as fast as possible?
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah, they just dropped shitty plans.
Shitty and come get murdered.
Yeah,
but the Taliban always fought to get to do it again. I always had a pretty good plan that was rehearsrsed. So I always kind of what would be I respected them.
Yeah,
I was like, if you're fighting the Taliban, if you're winning really easily, be careful. You might not be. But but they infiltrated our camp and I had moved 3 different trucks in to attack our camp. So they had 2 5,000-pounders and then 1 20,000-pounder.
IEDs.
Yep.
Jesus, that they moved in there and they just got squeaked through the front.
Yeah, I mean they built them out in the hinterlands of Afghanistan and assembled them all that summer, because 5,000 pounds is a lot of explosives.
There's a lot of explosives.
Yeah, and they actually had 4 of those trucks. So 2 they hit different places in the Ghazni city, and then 2 were for our camp. And then the 20,000-pounder, we were almost positive was for our camp, but the truck broke down.
The truck broke down.
Yeah, the fuel pump.
20,000-pounder.
Yeah, the fuel pump went out of like a mile from Fob Ghazni.
Wow.
Just sitting on the highway south.
Imagine if that thing had gotten onto the base.
We imagined it several times. So there was
Jesus
no safe
Christ.
place on Fob Ghazni for that to detonate.
No.
where you could survive. So it was that had done it.
That would have probably killed everybody on the entire base.
Oh yeah. So we think that was the big plan, was the assault to suck up the attention of the troops on the ground, which it did.
Yeah.
And if that truck hadn't broke down, probably nobody would know my story. I would just be on that camp that got wiped out.
Was there any other? So a couple of 5,000 pounders went off.
They got one 5,000 pounder hit the wall, it's where I ran to for my piece of the battle, and the other one, an Afghan policeman just had a funny feeling and just shot it with an RPG and detonated it like 400
prematurely.
Meters. Oh yeah, which killed his entire checkpoint, but it stopped it about 400 meters from the camp.
Okay, so that one got spoiled essentially, and then the other 5,000 pounder was inside.
Hit the
wall.
Hit the wall. Yeah. So they drove across a soccer field outside of the camp and then rammed the wall
and detonated.
And then had 15 highly motivated assaulters staged somewhat near it, and they jumped up and ran through the breach.
Who was there shooting at the breach when they came in?
Nobody. Well, they were there. They set up a base of fire to support their maneuver element.
No kidding.
So they had 2 PKMs doing talking guns.
Really? They were doing talking guns?
Yeah, I remember hearing it and I was like, I know that's a PKM and I know what talking gun sounds like.
Yeah. It was like
yeah, man. And I was like, oh no. Like, which I was like, they have been training and rehearsing, and that sounds pretty good.
Wow.
So that was one of my like, we're about to be in a significant gunfight.
You could just tell from hearing the machine gun fire.
I've never heard talking guns other than Americans doing it.
Yeah.
It's when the
you think they learned that from us?
I don't know if they learned it from us or if they just figured out if you want to actually prolonged gunfight and do supporting fires like a machine gun's supposed to, you can't just sit there and burn through 100-round belts.
Yeah.
And so that's what they were doing. And they were doing talking tubes, I guess, with RPGs. So they had RPG teams with their machine gun support.
Wow.
Blasting into the camp.
Damn. So they were dropping mortars. There was an IED that blew up and breached the wall. Then they had PKMs doing talking guns, and they had 13 to 15 fighters breaching the wall.
And then on the other side of the camp, 180 degrees from where this part was, they had 80 to 120 fighters who set up a mortar section, like a mortar section, 3 tubes, doing direct lay on the camp. And then they mounted a recoilless rifle in the hotel and started point firing it into the camp. And then those guys were up there just blasting away.
Jesus. So how did the repelling of this assault go?
Well, it was a complex battle. Obviously, me and my guys, we went and closed with that assault force of the suicide bombers and that had come through that main blast piece.
Yeah.
The company headquarters and like our motor pool and some of the other American forces that were there. They had I forget the name of it. It was one of those mixed match units the Army deployed to advise those district platforms all over Afghanistan. I forget what they were called.
Yeah.
But they were, fighting off the hotel forces, and then the Polish eventually got organized and maneuvered there. They had a light armored unit there, and they maneuvered out there and hammered that hotel and drove those guys off.
Okay.
And there was actually Polish snipers in that hotel when the battle started. So there was some big valor awards handed out on both sides.
No kidding.
But there was a 2-man. It's just when you get intel, it doesn't always mean what you think it means.
Yeah.
So the Poles had heard through some of their sources that the Taliban was going to go to that hotel and attack the camp, and they thought like an RPG or set up a mortar.
Yeah.
And so they sent a 2-man sniper team to the hotel. And 80 Muldoons come screaming across this parking lot and assault the hotel. And so those guys, fought them off. And
fought off 80 dudes.
And held the top floor. So the Taliban never was able to get the top floor of the hotel because there was 2 Polish snipers up there.
Wow.
That got shot to pieces.
Did they really?
Oh, yeah.
Did they survive?
They survived, yeah.
Holy crap.
I can't remember his actual name, but his name was like, we called him Darth Vader.
Darth Vader?
Yeah. But he was up there and got shot up. Probably by everybody because we were shooting at the hotel. The Taliban was trying to kill him, and then the the Polish light armor came by and just did a prolonged drive-by with, like an LAV type truck.
Yeah. Jesus. So what was going on with you when all this stuff was happening?
So we drove straight toward that first IED.
Yeah.
And just by blind luck, we parked right in the middle of their ORP. It was the first place as they came through the breach that they were going to link up.
That was their objective rally point.
Yep. And
Okay.
so we pulled into the middle of a school circle of Taliban.
Oh
And,
my God, dude.
And had a shootout. We literally pulled.
So gunfight.
Yeah, I dismounted in a like a semicircle of about 10, 12 dudes. And my rifle jammed and
Jesus
transitioned to my pistol.
Christ.
Yeah, I was like, just a
This is the worst.
Where this is I was my thing. We got down there so quick. I was expecting to be able to mount a wall with my sniper rifle and repel them from coming through the breach, but they moved so quick that when we got down there, we instantly turned it into just a chance contact, near ambush, I guess maybe.
Yeah.
And had a point blank gunfight.
Man, and so you had a sniper rifle.
I had a sniper rifle.
Did you have any other rifle or weapon?
I had a pistol. I had a 9mm pistol, which is how I started the fight, until I could get my rifle back into action. And instantly, I think the whole gunfight lasted like 11 minutes, but I was black on ammo in like 6.
Jesus.
And went to trying to get an AK up, and I got one. I don't usually tell this part of the story. I usually just tell like a streamlined gunfight story.
Yeah.
But I remember I got an AK up, and then a Polish dude came running up and had no gun, but he was like pumped, and I was like, I gave him the AK, and then as soon as I handed it to him, he screamed "Korva" and like charged the breach in the wall.
The breach.
And I remember being super like bummed out
because he left you there without any weapon.
Because I ran and grabbed an AK and I tried to like rack it, and the bolt was shot in half. And,
Jesus!
I was like, crap! And I threw it down. I ran over and grabbed another one, and the receiver was stretched apart. And so I got all the parts, and I went back to the good receiver and built a gun. And then he showed up, and I handed it to him, and I was like, I'll go get another one. And then he was like, sua sponte, went to battle.
went to battle. Polish dude.
Yeah.
Did you? What did you do then? Did you build another one?
I literally went and had to go find another one. And I was like, all these guys had suicide vests, and we had a gunfight basically inside this room.
Oh, geez.
The whole battle was about a space this big. And
so there's nowhere to hide.
So all the AKs were just messes. Because if he's holding it and his suicide vest detonates, that rifle's pretty much ruined.
Yeah, because all those ball bearings are going right into that rifle.
And so I found another couple AKs that had parts that would work, and built another rifle.
Okay, and then you were able to like run and gun a little bit more.
There was grenades. They have a underbarrel launcher, kind of like we do.
Yeah.
And they were all over the place. So I just gathered them up and was shooting them at the support by fire position off base.
No kidding.
Yeah, I shot 10 or 15 grenades because I was just waiting for somebody else to, I'm by myself, and I was like, where?
You were by yourself.
Yeah, and this is like toward the back end of the battle.
Yeah.
And so my guys that, after we had got hit and I had pulled a casualty off, they went and, closed the fight. And so when I got back in and had a gun, they were gone. They had left. So I was kind of right where we had dismounted that truck, and
where the school circle was.
Where the school circle was, and it's where all the guns were.
Yeah.
Because we dismounted and instantly destroyed each other. Like nobody could really leave where we dismounted after about the 2 or 3 minutes. Everybody was hit.
Wow.
So that's where we started. That's where we finished. And that's where all the good guns were.
Yeah, Jesus. And so that whole thing was over, and you think like 15 minutes?
The battle lasted like 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, 3 or 4 hours.
My piece from when I drove out of the SF camp to when I came walking back was like an 11-minute period. So we drove.
That's
out.
how fast that thing went down.
Yeah. So I drove out, and like 11 minutes later, I was walking back, black on ammo with an AK.
Was it ever hard for you to talk about that?
For me, no. And I always, kind of flippantly say, like, I have the cheapest medal ever. I didn't get disfigured or really badly wounded. None of my friends got killed. So while Americans died, it wasn't any of my guys, man. So
Yeah.
I've told the story immediately after, and I've been telling it since. When I really break it down, I tell it different for different people. So I have a very technical breakdown of the battle for other Green Berets and gunfighters because, I didn't come up with anything profound. I just executed the same rifle marksmanship we're teaching guys today.
Yeah.
I was very proficient and I got lucky. So 50-50.
Yeah.
So I always didn't mind talking about it and giving guys like the tips and tricks of why I thought I was successful.
Yeah. Well, obviously, the things you learned along the way prepared you for the things that you experienced that day, I would say.
Yeah. And that's, to our earlier conversation, I always like to go back and talk to those guys that haven't been to war and haven't been tested. It's like they're getting the same training I did before I went. Yeah. And that was, my big thing is, be bold and be aggressive. Because there's going to be nobody that you find that's as good as we are. Now when you go on the battlefields, they get a shot too, and they get lucky. But
they get a say. The enemy always gets a say.
Always, enemy gets a say. But we have the best training and the best equipment. So there's no reason for you to be hesitant on the battlefield. Be aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think that's a great wrapping it up point, man. Right. I think that's a good learning lesson to leave people with, for sure, because the enemy does get a say, and that's something we forget oftentimes. But I also do like to hear that, like from your perspective, somebody who's been through unbelievable amounts of training, that we do get the best training. Yeah.
Save me.
Yeah, that's it. And being well trained does make the difference in life or death for a lot of people. Yeah. Especially in situations where you're facing that level of adversity.
I think it's a part of my my coping mechanism for combat. Everything bad that had to happen, it had to happen. Yeah. It wasn't a lack of preparedness. It wasn't a lack of physical fitness. As a Marine, as a Green Beret, we trained religiously. We trained as realistically as possible. Yeah. And I think that helps you. When something goes wrong, it's just because that's a dangerous job.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is an inherently dangerous
it's fairly
profession. Yeah, it's an inherently dangerous profession because, you're there to prosecute and execute.
Yeah. When you're there to kill somebody, they try to stop you.
They tend to resist. Yeah. Stop resisting. Well, hey man, look again. I appreciate you coming all the way up here to do this.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I wanted to make sure before I left that I gave one of these to you here.
Oh, good. I'm ready for you.
Now we're gonna do a swap. Yeah. That is yours, my friend. Thank you so much for coming. Sir, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man.
Pleasure.
Check that out. That is freaking sweet right there, man. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Military guys are so funny.
I know.
It's like I've got lots of coins.
Do you have a coin rack?
I do. I never had one when I was in. I was like, I'm not a nerd. I'm not gonna put it on a rack.
Yeah.
And now I've got them all stacked out.
Yeah, I got them all stacked out too. I had to because I like. It's good. It's good to remind me of it. It reminds me of experiences and people I've met and things like that.
Yeah, and I've got my first coin, and then I have the very first coin I got. It's like an E3, and then I got the last coin the president gave me. So it's kind of my rack is my career.
That's cool. Yeah. So it's like you can kind of see history up there, like the history.
Yeah, my first coin was from the commander of 1st Special Forces Group. Gave it to me as a Marine when I was like an E3. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of neat that it started there and ended there.
Interesting. Well, that's what's the word for it?
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, it's foreshadowing for sure. Yeah. Well, hey, man, again, I appreciate you taking the time and the trip to come up here, man. It meant a lot. It means a lot to me. I know it's going to mean a lot to everybody out there who's had the opportunity to listen to your story and some of the experiences that you've had, and I'm sure that a lot of people are going to have a lot to gain from it. So I appreciate you taking the time and taking the trip up here. Means a lot. Where can people find you on social media and everything?
I have an Instagram. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the Instagram handle?
It's the one that doesn't ask you for money.
Okay, there you go.
if I hit you up because I'm stranded in London and I need $800, That's not the right one.
Okay, so
It's the other one.
Earl Plumlee.
Yeah, Earl
on
Plumlee
Instagram.
official.
Official.
And if I ask you for money, that's the wrong one.
It's probably it's the wrong one. Don't do that one. Okay. All right. Well, brother, I appreciate it again. Thank you for coming up here, man. And we'll see you. We'll see you some point soon in the future. I
hope so, man.
All right, brother.
Take it easy.
You too.